Yellow, how are you? Let's start here.
You know, my favorite type of weed was cocaine.
Welcome back to the random show. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the random show. Hope you are well wherever this random show may find you. I hope you are doing swimmingly. Hopefully I didn't blow out anyone's ears. Hopefully I didn't make your cat scream, your dog fucking bark crazy, somebody in your house throw a shoe at you. I do apologize for that very, very aggressive introduction, but I hope you can understand my POV. I hope you can understand my POV. Welcome back to Random Show. Hope you're good wherever you are. If it's your first time tuning into a show and you like what you see along the way, do me a favor and just smash the like button for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. That's all I ask. If you want to listen to the show after the fact via a podcast, you can. All the podcast links are down below. I usually rip the audio from the video and then upload that onto podcast apps. So if you just like to listen to my sultry voice and not have to see my ugly mug, then you can click the links below in the descriptions. There's links for Spotify and also links for Apple Podcasts that you can find on there, the two major ones, and of course you can listen to it on any player that you use. So definitely check that out if you are that way inclined. But yeah, big up the chat, big up everybody hanging in there. It's a bit of a late one, a bit of a random one, but as per usual, I wanted to kind of throw something up. I would have done this sooner, but for some reason I decided to restart my computer so I could start fresh. When I restarted it, it's decided to fucking install an update that I didn't ask for, you know? Standard MacBook shit. When you keep delaying, that's the thing with the MacBook. If you don't update it when they tell you to, it'll force you to update at some point. It'll just kind of stick it on you like a stick up kid, like, give me your watch, give me your chain, give me, I mean, run them pockets. That's what the Apple does to you at one point. They'll tell you, to know what, run your blood clot pockets. We are getting this update installed on your machine one way or another. And they did. So here I am a few minutes late, but hey, it is what it is. We continue, we roll, and we make things happen the way it is. I don't know how these motherfuckers out here do, because this is like nothing, right? I've got like a tiny little LED little thing that I bought to kind of give me some extra light, and that helps, to be fair, because if I do this, if I turn it off, right, you can hardly see me, and then when I turn it on, you can see me. So it has worked, but it makes me really sweaty, and I'm already a sweaty guy anyway, so I don't know how these guys do it. And these other streamers are way more professional than I am. They have like LEDs running across the back and stuff, like it's all over the place. I'm not too sure if they, maybe because they all live in America, the streamers I watch, so you guys all have air conditioning. There's no such thing as air conditioning in the UK. If you want air conditioning, you just open the window. So maybe that's the reason why I'm suffering, or maybe just because I'm just a sweaty fucking black guy. I don't know, but either way, bloody hell, this little tiny bar is like nothing, and it's already making me fucking having to wipe my brows every fucking 2 seconds and stuff. So whatever, it is what it is. Apart from that, what else I've been doing? I've been watching some interviews. I've actually been watching Tyler the Creator's interview, which is really good. I'm probably going to cover this in my main podcast, but even though, you know, I should probably talk about it in here, but I'll probably cover it in my main pod. But I've been watching this podcast interview here with Tyler the Creator on a podcast platform called Rap Radar, which is hosted by this guy called B Dot and the guy here on the right called Elliot Wilson. Elliot Wilson and B Dot, kind of annoying, kind of insufferable. You know, the kind of guys who, like, I don't know, they think media guys. I've always been a bit odd about media guys, maybe because I don't know if I count as media myself, but I don't know, these kind of hip hop media guys who legitimately think they're like part of the conversation. They think they're like players in the field when they're just reporting or just reviewing stuff, whatever it may be. And with these guys, it's even worse because they're like in the, you know, they're like in the good graces of Rock Nation and Jay-Z, so they're kind of a bit elevated and better than quote unquote others, and they kind of take their jobs a little bit more seriously, but they can be a bit insufferable. But apart from that, and how annoying they may be, I have to be honest, this is probably one of their better interviews. Obviously, has a lot to do with Tyler. He's a super funny guy, and he comes across well generally in interviews, and it's a bit more palatable. But one thing I did notice watching this interview, and I think this is something that tends to happen all the time with artists, I think, because I've been a fan of Tyler since he basically burst on the scene, him, you know, with Odd Future Crew and all that malarkey, and you can definitely see a change in his personality. And I've seen some people complain already, and I kind of got the feeling a little bit on this interview, he didn't come across the greatest. Like, he came across a bit like up his own ass, which he always has been, but I feel like nowadays maybe you're kind of maybe seeing it a little bit differently, maybe because he's a bit older, I'm not really too sure, but there's definitely a there's definitely a weird little tone and tinge with him. Essentially, his main kind of gripe, I remember him talking about in an interview, is that he feels like sometimes people can be hypocrites. Like they can, they can chastise one thing, but then do another thing in their own life, which is fine, I think all human beings are hypocrites. But it doesn't mean because you're a hypocrite, you can't complain about stuff, right? It doesn't mean because you're not all the way pure in the way that you're living your life, you'd have no reason to kind of have grievance with other things going on societally. And then the other thing he had to say was just that he doesn't care to kind of get involved in like social issues, which I understand because I feel like in America, for some reason, American people is very different. Maybe because it's your history of slavery you have over there, but I think like American black people are are unfairly pressured to take part in or to flipping advocate for certain social justice issues when sometimes they have no business doing so because they don't know what they're talking about, or because it's not something that is within their field of expertise, or just because they don't care. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather just somebody be honest, say, hey, I don't care about this sort of shit. It's not within my wheelhouse. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. But for some reason, you're kind of obliged due to the color of your skin to kind of get involved in issues and to kind of basically get involved in politics, because unfortunately in America, for the most part, social justice and politics are very much intertwined, and the moment you get in it, it's really difficult not to sort of have to align yourself with one or the other party. And when you do that, you immediately kind of, ostracize yourself from 50% of the flipping country. So it becomes hard. So I understand his gripes about it, but he didn't really say that. He kind of skirted around it, kind of made it seem like, oh, if you're talking about this stuff, you don't really have any interest, or if you're talking about this stuff, I could be doing other things I'm worried about. So just be honest and say, hey, I don't care by and large. I'm rich. I've made it. I'm one of the lucky few. And now I'm just going to use myself as an example to kind of be a positive inspiration for other black kids coming up. That, hey, that if I can do it, you can do it too. That's what he probably should have said in that regard. But I'm sure that wouldn't have landed well either. But I just think it's just a standard kind of path that you have to go through. I think so. Especially in his field. He's basically in hip hop, you would imagine, but he kind of makes music that kind of covers all spectrums. But the thing with him is that he's just so much better than everybody else that it's so easy to kind of have this sort of attitude. I think so. It's really easy to have this attitude because you're so much better than everybody else, so you know that you can talk your shit with little to no competition, and no one can really tell you anything because you've got your shit on lock. You know what you're doing. Your voice is kind of fine-tuned, blah 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 blah. So I get it. But I just think he came across not the greatest in this interview, although I always enjoy listening to him speak, and I always find him incredibly insightful and stuff and really inspiring. I can see why fans can view what he was saying about certain topics, like, I don't know, like fun stuff, like Twitter people like talk about rap list stuff. It's not something I give a shit about or I'm entertaining in. I'm not gonna sit there and have a list of people that I go through and say, oh, most of my top 5 and shit. It's not something that interests me in the slightest, but I understand why some people do like to take part in those kind of list debates. I get it. But he kind of shat all over it and kind of made it seem like it was like, it was beneath. It's beneath him, of course, but it's like he made it seem like it was a waste of time for other people to be doing, which is a bit, you can't really say that because there's something that people enjoy. It's not a waste of time to them. Like, it's probably a waste of time for other people that he, jumps on his bike and cycles for 40 minutes to fucking eat a donut somewhere. But he does it because he enjoys it. So that whole thing was a bit strange. But it was just interesting to see in real time somebody quite clearly, you see them like changing, like you see an evolution, him maturing, his perspective kind of getting different, and maybe him not coming across as well as he did in the past. And again, it's not his fault. It's just, I think the circumstances are, or isn't it? The guy's like not even 30 yet, and he's a multi-millionaire on top of the world, Grammy winner. Do you know what I mean? Like, business all in check and stuff. I understand why the head is the way it is, but it was funny to watch it in real time. I'm not going to lie. And then I also watched this documentary about, I'm kind of halfway through at the moment. It's about the Ukraine nightlife at the moment. I'm probably going to cover it in my main podcast properly, but what a reminder. I'm not sure about you guys, but generally if I'm not checking the Ukraine war report, I think, subreddit, I'm usually not seeing anything to do with Ukraine on my newsfeed anymore. I'm not too sure if you guys are the same. So unless I specifically go and look for it, I don't see it. And usually I try not to look for it because I don't want it to bum me out. But that documentary was really, not inspiring. Was really, what's that thing called? it made me appreciate the life I have, basically, because that documentary I watched was more focused on electronic music. Obviously, it was commissioned by Resident Advisor, and they basically featured loads of people included, and within the kind of dance music scene. And they basically were speaking about, and it kind of starts off really well because it kind of shines a camera on them, and then it kind of writes some text on the top that says how they started off in the scene and what they're doing now. So maybe like, oh, I'm a promoter, now I'm a flipping, medic for the war victims and shit. Like, it's pretty eye-opening to see these people who at one point had this entirely different life, and then boom, it changes because of the war, and now you're completely doing something else. Or the people partying amongst the war also. That was a very interesting part of it, because it made me understand the psyche of people that were going out, because I was one of those Karens during the peak of the pandemic that was like, how are you going outside? You guys shouldn't be going. I wasn't obviously telling people, I wasn't saying it to anybody else outside of my home, but still in my head I was like, how can people be going outside? It's dangerous. You should be indoors. What's that thing they said? Stay safe and stay safe, save lives, or stay inside, whatever that term was. I was kind of repeating that fucking mantra all the time, and I couldn't understand why people were raving, because in the peak of the pandemic, especially when everything was locked down, everyone was going outside, especially in London. Loads of people were going to fucking warehouse raves and forest raves, and I can't understand, like, everyone's dying left and right and shit. This COVID shit, people are like, I remember the first story that used to really trouble me was that story about that guy from Broadway. It was some Broadway dancer or actor, like the first victim of COVID, who caught it, and then he had to have his leg amputated, his liver taken out, and then of course he ended up dying at the end of it. But it was brutal to kind of hear the progress of this, the diagnosis of this guy day in, day out, and it was kind of, his condition was obviously deteriorating over time, and then he just passed away. So I don't remember why people were doing that, but then I've been watching this documentary on Ukraine. I can understand now why that happens, especially in the midst of such horrible circumstances. The last thing you want to be doing is sat at home watching more news about numbers of deaths and stuff and people's cases. You just want to kind of ignore and forget about what's going on outside and just kind of dance and have a good time and shit. And I understand it a lot more, especially in the context of the Ukraine stuff, because there are people throwing raves in Ukraine now to kind of occupy and to distract some kids and, help with their mental health and all this shit, make them feel useful. All this interesting stuff was happening. So that doc was pretty cool, man, to watch, I'm not going to lie. And then I also was checking online to see what flipping comedy shows I want to go to, because I want to mix the show up a bit. The Brendan stuff's getting a bit boring, to be fair. Nothing is happening really, to be fair. I think apart from maybe the revelation about the UK tour and what he was saying in terms of excusing it, what we know now, based on the hint that his wife gave us. But there's not been anything happening, so I want to go to a few more shows and do some reviews on here. So I've been checking on Ticketmaster to see what's happening, what kind of shows are out there, and it's a tough one, man, because a lot of this stuff I'm gonna have to go in blind, because I don't know some of these guys, especially the UK people. I'm not really plugged into the UK comedy scene, although we have a very thriving scene. It's not something I'm really plugged into all the way, so I'm gonna have to go in a bit blind on some UK piece. But there are some American guys here, like Ali Wong, of course. Al Martin. I said Ali Wong. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Babatunde Aleshi. I'm pretty sure he's going to be quite hacky and some sort of like Nigerian accent shit, I'm pretty sure. But there's some wild people on here who I've never heard. Oh, Dara O'Brien, I like. He's really good. He's a UK comedian. I know who that is. I recognize that name. Frankie Boyle's pretty funny also. That might be good. Jack Whitehall, no way. I'll push him in front of a train before I watched none of that. Jimmy Carr, also, I'm not really a fan of Jimmy Carr's sort of delivery, I don't know. It's weird though, isn't it? I'm not a fan of it because I'm a fan of the other guy, so I don't know. I'm not really a fan of him. Jonathan Pye might be quite decent, actually. He's one that used to do that satire and new stuff, so he might be pretty decent to go watch out. Kevin Bloody Wilson, who the fuck is this? Is this person American? I'm assuming that's American, right? Juno Birch, Jordan Gray, Kevin Lee, James Fortin, Lloyd Griffith. I don't know who these. Oh look, Matt Rife is there. Shit. Shall I go see Matt Rife? Hold on, he's playing 4. No way is he playing. He's playing. How many dates is that? Fucking hell, son. It's to the 3rd to the 20th of September. No fucking way. How many fucking dates is he playing? For the 9th to the 23rd of November. Yo, this is the opposite. This is the opposite of like being cancelled. right, of like Brendan's shows. Look at the shows. I've not even seen this. Look, it's got like a bar that says low availability. It's telling you it's sold out. Look at this. Low availability, limited availability, low availability. Oh my God. Oh my God. Matt Rife is touring the fucking world. That, like, holy shit. Glasgow. He's got 2 gigs in Glasgow, 1 in Birmingham, 1 in Cardiff, Newcastle 2 times, Manchester 2 times, London 2 times, Bristol 2 times. Fuck me. Okay, cool. I'm gonna have to go check it out just for the bants. A quiet thing, I'll be the only guy there. Yeah. Yay, Maddie. That'll be loads. There'll be so many middle-aged women there, innit? Like, if you're into MILFs, bro, you'll absolutely clean up over there, bro. Yeah, I might have to check it out. Okay, let's see. What's worse? I guess what's less tickets? I guess it'll be limited, right? Low is gonna be, yeah, so maybe low. Let's see Wednesday. What we're saying for prices. I'm assuming Matt Rife is probably like a £35 guy. I'm assuming around 35, 40, maybe. Let's see. He's performing at the Evtim Apollo in London. Oh shit, there's no tickets available. Let's see what's available here. I just want 1. Can I get 1? Let's see what it says here. Will it give me anything? Loading. Holy shit, no other tickets available. Like legit sellout. Let's see what the capacity is of this Everton London. Yo, Matt Rife is a big draw, innit? Like, for real. When did he get so, like, fucking famous? I see the fucking the little clips online, but I didn't know he was moving tickets like that. Whoa. Oh my God. Holy shit. It's 5,000. Is it 5,000 capacity? 5,000 capacity. Matt Rife is fucking killing it. That kid is killing it. Holy shit. The London Evtim Apollo is 5,000 capacity. He is absolutely smashing it. That is an absolute theatre for real. Yo. I had no idea he was that. You know what's funny about Matt Rife though? Maybe you guys know more than me. What podcast does he go on? What podcast does he go on? Like, I don't really know podcasts that he's on. Is he on any kind of scene? I don't really see him in, like, he's not on the LA stuff, not really. I don't really see him in the East Coast ones. What podcast scene is he part of? Or is he not part of any? Because he seems to have just, like, come out from nowhere. And he's not associated with any of the kind of big podcasts. So he kind of bucks the trend, innit? He kind of stands on his own. So that's pretty cool, man. Oh, yeah, the one TikTok guy, yeah, he's with who's that guy in there again? The blonde dude, isn't it? I forgot his name. Something Wallace, isn't it? Trevor Wallace. He does a show with Trevor Wallace, you mean? On Whitney Cummings, he was Wild and Out. Oh, he's a Wild and Out guy. Okay, yeah, true. He's a Wild and Out guy. Yeah, true. I remember him from there. That's a good point. And Wild and Out is like normies, isn't it, right? What Wild and Out, did that used to come on MTV or like Comedy Central? What channel was that on? I don't remember what it was on TV-wise. I'm assuming that kind of helped, innit? And obviously, yeah, he's incredibly good looking, so I'm sure that's going to help. But still, I don't think just because he's good looking that he gets to sell tickets. Like, I didn't know his fan base was that big. I really didn't. And it kind of, yeah, so cool. It was MTV. Jared Mallock was saying it was MTV. I really didn't know he was that famous. I swear on my life. I knew he was popular because his videos get loads of views, but I didn't know he was famous enough to be like in fucking the UK for like until what? From the 9th. Oh no, who's it? Yeah, from basically the 10th all the way until the fucking 21st. He's in the UK. Oof. Okay, big up Matt Rife then. So we got Matt Rife tickets there. Matt Ford. Oh, we got Munya. That might be actually quite good. Munya I know from Instagram, and also Mo Gillingham. So these might be good ones to go and check out. I don't know whose fuck is Myra Dubois. I don't know what the fuck that is. Nick Offerman. That's an actor, right? Peter K will be. Oh, Peter K is gonna be good. That's next year though, isn't it? Oh shit, that would be really good to check out actually. Peter K show will be quite good. We got Phil Wang. I don't know who that is. Another Wang. Wang Wong. So many of these kind of guys out there. That's not judgment. It's just what it is. Ricky Gervais, Ross Noble, Sarah McMillan, Russell Brand. Is there anything worse than this picture? The one where the comedian Hank holds the microphone cord like that. Like, we get it. You do comedy, allow it. Really, D'Elia was hating on Matt Rife. What, really? You know what it is actually? Matt Rife is like no, Chris D'Elia is like evil Matt Rife, isn't it? That's basically what he is. Chris D'Elia is evil Matt Rife. Like, if he I hope someone like a Matt Rife though. I hope if he was into the dark arts, I hope like Chris D'Elia getting cancelled the way he does or the way he did kind of fixed him up. I don't think it did though. I don't think these guys are that smart. I don't think they would have saw what happened to Chris D'Elia and be like, you know what, I'm gonna rein it in a bit. They're probably just doing it more undercover. But I hope if he was into the dark arts, he just kind of chilled out because he doesn't need that smoke, man. He's doing well by himself already now. What's this? Shag Married Annoyed. What the hell is that? God almighty, what are these shows? Tom Allen, Tom Davis. Oh, Trevor Noah's coming to the UK too. Sometime in November. Trevor Noah's there and some other people. So yeah, loads of to check out, but so far on my list, I've got a few to check out. One I'm definitely gonna go see is Fluffy, aka Gabriel Iglesias. I'm really looking forward to seeing him at his London date here in October, so I'm gonna go to see him there. And then potentially I would like to see Bill Burr actually. I don't know what tour dates he's got, but I think they weren't London. I think they were like overseas, which was annoying. So I'd have to go to like fucking Berlin or something to go check him out, which is fine because it's an excuse to go to Berlin. But if I'm not mistaken, there wasn't any London. It was weird. It's like he's coming to Europe, but then he's not coming to the UK. It's like going straight over there and then coming back to the States. Like, look, he's doing Prague, he's doing Berlin, he's doing Stockholm, Budapest, Hungary, Athens, Greece, and then flying back. Have you ever seen that before? I've never seen that before where a comedian will come to Europe and not go to UK. They went straight here. But I'm guessing maybe Brexit, maybe taxes, I don't know. But he's going straight from America, or straight from Canada, sorry, all the way to the Czech Republic, but not coming to the UK. So that's a shame. So if I do want to see him, I have to go to one of these European dates in Czech Republic, Germany, Sweden, or Hungary or something. But let's see what happens. But man, I want to see some more shows so I can have some stuff to report to you guys back on here soon. Okay, Eddie D said Nick Offerman does like libertarian spoken word. Yeah, I'm all right with that one, mate. If that's like white people, I already hate black people spoken word. Then my mind shines bright like a star in the night when the slaves come back with all that sort of shit. Like, go fuck yourself. I can only imagine what white people spoken word sounds like. Black people spoken word is fucking awful. White people spoken word must be like, I don't know. It must be like step out the window worthy. Do you know what I mean? Matt's toy looks good. Nick brought out topless pic of Matt and Chris got so pissed. I can't wait to see that one, mate. Honestly. Matt Rife is Chris D'Elia is evil Matt Rife. That's he should just settle down a bit, man. He did too much. Next one is to talk about here quickly. Am I the only one, or am I going soft? Am I going a little bit soft, or do I feel a little bit bad for the big man B Schaub? Because I saw this on the subreddit and I just had to highlight this on here. Look at how much fucking views that fucking documentary that I watched on the stream the other day has got, courtesy of Ghost Gum, the never ending downfall of Brendan Schaub. It's already on over 500,000 views in under 3 days. So most likely this might get 1 million views in the next 4 days or something. Like 1 million views. Has Brendan got anything else, any content on his side of things, aside from the stuff that he kind of, pumps with fake views, that's got that many views on the stuff? Like, this is too much, man. And the funny thing about it is that it's sad because it's not going to change, It's not going to get any better because fundamentally, the reason why people are making these documentaries is because they don't like Brendan as a person at his core. But the person he is at his core, he doesn't see anything wrong with it. So there's no need to change. So he's not going to change himself at his core level. It's just going to continue, and it's going to probably get worse over time because most likely the older you get, the more you just start doubling down in it and tripling down and quadrupling down on who you are because you just can't be bothered to change because you're just too fucking old and set in your ways. But he could do the unthinkable and change and decide to kind of reflect on the things that people are saying and kind of grow from it, learn, blah, blah, blah. But that's not going to happen. Never, ever going to happen. The only way I see that happening personally, a kind of big kind of introspective change would be if it started to affect his money. Like if he started to not be able to pay his bills and he had to sell his Ferrari and shit, maybe he then will take notice because, you know, his lifestyle and how he kind of looks and all that sort of stuff is super important to him. Hence why he kind of lies about so much shit. But now I just don't think this is gonna, it doesn't really help, but also it's just kind of sad. You know what I mean? This guy like had everything. He had fucking everything given to him on a silver platter and he just squandered it all. And now he's in a position where he gets like mocked on a daily basis and has little random YouTube documentaries made up about him that gets over 500 views in 3 days. Like, just taking the piss out of him. It's fucking brutal being this guy, honestly. He doesn't get the... Sorry. He doesn't get the credit he deserves for just like being able to get up out of bed and continue doing the stuff that he does. Because if it was me, the one thing that would really bother me would be that not that people like me are taking the piss out of him, that's fine, or that other people like this, it doesn't really matter. The thing that would bother me more would be the peers in comedy that are laughing and snickering, right? I didn't say niggering, I said snickering behind his back. That would be what would bother me most. Not random YouTubers like myself. No. What would bother me most is not unique. What would bother me most is fucking actual people in comedy making jokes about me. Like laughing at what I say. That would really hurt. Like people that you think are in your quote unquote comedic brotherhood, whatever, that, you know, fraternity, rat pack, but they're all kind of laughing at you and making you the butt of the joke. That would legitimately hurt my feelings. But somehow he doesn't really show it. Maybe that's the thing though. Maybe he's like so redacted, like it doesn't even like register. Like that's actually the benefit of being like super delusional and redacted. It doesn't register like it would to you and I, because to you and I, sensible, well-adjusted, normal people, we'd look at that kind of stick and be like, oof, there must be something here, innit? Like all these people are talking about me and saying this stuff. There must be something in what they're saying, and maybe try to do some, you know, some self-inventory. But I don't think it registered with this man. It doesn't register in the slightest. It's just, oh, whatever. They're just haters. I mean, they're poor, they're broke. They wish they were me kind of thing. That's probably what he actually says in his head. I can actually picture that, which is kind of sad in itself as well. But, you know, I'm probably projecting a lot of my own feelings of how I would feel onto this. But day to day, he probably doesn't feel the slightest bit bad, or it doesn't make him feel like anything. It's just like, yeah, you guys are hating. You'd love to be me. Blah, 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 blah. I think so. But, you know, what do I know, innit? I just saw the thing and I thought to myself, fucking hell, mate. Being Brendan Schaub on a day-to-day basis must be absolutely horrendous. So, talking about that, actually, I want to check this out, actually. This is a new one. This is called The Unintentional Genius of Brendan Schaub. I haven't actually seen this person. Did I watch this already? I think I might watch this. Did I watch this already? 5 days ago. What's this about? The unintentional. Okay, let's watch it anyway. But it's called The Unintentional Genius. Let's see what this is about. Unintentional Genius. Courtesy of the channel called Retroactive. I think I might watch another video of this before, but let's just check this one, just in case I haven't checked it out before.
Then we start talking about how Tiger.
Yeah. Dumb name is Tiger.
I know. Well,
I mean, I know it's been said a few times, but you hear it and you're like, okay.
That's Brendan Schaub's son's name is Tiger.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yes, it is.
Sorry, Brendan. It's a great name.
and in this case, it's a nickname. In Brendan's, it's his real name.
Oh, it's a great name. Did I say it was a name?
So
the lion isn't the king, it's the tiger?
Yes. I saw the documentary. It was a hit piece, but they f***ed up because they allowed all the girls to talk. Some girls like, I don't know what the f*** these girls are talking about.
A few moments later.
Yeah, true.
But anyways,
That
yeah.
documentary was a hit piece, but then they f***ed up because they allowed all the girls to talk. So they're like, okay. So
Do I have a
some people
time
had a good
machine?
The fact that he didn't notice he repeated that story twice. Oh my god. That is CTE, isn't it? Like he must have, what's that word called? Is it like what's it called? Is it laden? When it kind of like it's there and then it kind of just suddenly kind of comes out of the blue out of nowhere. Is that what it's called? Like laden? Is that a medical term? Something like that? Like he must have something like that. That's a version of CTE he must have, where it just sort of like shoots out of the blue from nowhere, like like a form of like PTSD or some shit, where it will just come at you from nowhere, like something will just happen. People are saying it's Alzheimer's. It's a medical redaction.
The man with the most dedicated anti-fan base, I really can't hate Brendan Schaub. Whether intentional or unintentional, the man provides endless laughs to the comedy community either way, so praise unto the holy gringo papi. Schaub really should just take the 8 Mile approach and play into the jokes, and he might just start straight and selling a few more tickets, but instead we have an endless onslaught of Schaubisms flowing from the Fighter and the Kids subreddit. Full credit to the stadium of homeless cats. Rogan sends a sly shot at Schaub, who has almost certainly asked to headline at his new club, the Mothership.
It has been a problem though, because there's a lot of people want to come, and some of them are just people are weird, like that want a headline, and that they know, like that you're not really a headliner.
Okay. Unconventional, unpopular hot take, unpopular opinion. And you know me and my hot takes are always terrible, right? But let's just put it out there. If I'm Brendan, if I'm in Brendan's shoes, I'm kind of pissed off with Joe Rogan. You handed me a comedy career off the basis of me making you laugh at the Comedy Store, off the basis of me making you laugh on the podcast, off the basis of you just liking me as a person. You liked hanging out with me. We were good friends at the time. So much so you invited me onto your show more than any other guest. I've got most of the guests. Brendan Schaub is still the highest, I think, appearances on GRE till this day. I think it's like the high 80s or something. And you handed me a career in stand-up comedy because because you thought I was funny on podcasts. So you knew what level of humor, sense of humor I had. Like, you knew what level I was at. If that's the case, then you should be inviting me to your comedy club. Why not? Why shouldn't you? But you kind of owe that to me in a way. That's what I would be saying if I was him personally. It kind of annoyed me. Like, how dare you? Do you know what I mean? Like, we were cool, everything was fine, and now suddenly, you've now gained what's it was said? You've now gained like a conscience or something. You have like a moral compass once it comes to comedy, and now all of a sudden, I'm not permitted in there anymore. That would kind of annoy me. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit. Because he was okay with him beforehand, but now all of a sudden he doesn't, And again, I understand. Good robot, you're right. Rogan doesn't owe him anything. But I'm just saying, if I'm in Brendan's shoes, he can't just turn off the tap now, He allowed me, he kind of gave me grace because they were friends, gave me a career because he just thought I was funny, and then kind of looked past all my shortcomings, didn't really, offer any, I don't think, nothing really stopped for Brendan after fucking You'd Be Surprised, and that was terrible. He kept having him on the show. He let him promote Gringo Pappy, even though that was terrible. So if anything, if I'm Brendan, I'm a little bit pissed off. A little bit annoyed that I don't get a chance to go on the fucking Comedy Mothership or perform there as a headliner. I'll be a little bit annoyed. I know it's insane to say this, but I'll be a tiny bit annoyed.
Like, what are you talking about?
The story is no sweeter on Schaub's Tiger Thick whiskey, facing an onslaught of 1-star Google reviews which can really hurt sales. Bobby Lee recently decides to add another ember to the fire that was Schaub accusing them of running the Fighter and the Kids subreddit.
All the people we've had on the podcast, who do you think would be the one that we were gossiping about that could be a serial killer?
Oh, shit. Run some names.
Let's go through some
He's
topics.
kind of that, right?
I'm going to throw out a name.
Okay.
A little controversial. He's been on our podcast. Schaub.
No, zero.
No, doesn't have
zero.
02.
Yeah, because he's
You'd see him coming.
Yeah, I think I'd
Yeah,
say
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I think he would leave a lot of tracks.
And he also doesn't know how Reddit works. I'm being serious. You have to know how to do computer stuff.
Keep that in. You're right. He doesn't know how Reddit
Is that
works.
crazy what I just said?
No, you're right. He doesn't know how Reddit works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Jared Mellerick, I think you're right. He will eventually be there on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, not the weekend. That's what I think too. I think eventually he will get a spot there. I think Joe will just feel bad enough for him to just give him a spot out of pity. But to be fair, the more time goes on, the more I don't think so. Because Joe's really good at kind of ignoring things and pretending it doesn't happen. It didn't happen. So when the Brian Cannon rape thing went down, he basically pretended it never happened, and then eventually people stopped caring people stopped caring, wondering what he'd say or what his impression is, and it kind of just moved on. So I think he's really good at playing the waiting game. So he'll probably just ignore it and then hope like no one keeps remembering, and then it'll be fine. But unfortunately, the homeless cats have very, very long memories, and they're definitely going to want to know and keep teasing Brendan about it until it gets a point where he probably will just have to kind of help his friend to stop getting trolled and shit online.
Yeah. Is this our last episode?
God, we're bringing it back. Okay. Let's move on. Let's move on real quick.
Let's move on really quick.
Schaub, of course, had the good sense to interrupt Mike Tyson in the middle of being asked a question.
Tyson in his prime versus Fury in his prime. Who wins, Mike?
This is the best one, right? Because I rewatched this again because somebody posted on the subreddit, but I didn't remember at the time that this football player, I forgot his name, he actually asked Mike the question. I think it was either he asked the question or it was a question that somebody sent in. But either way, the question was directed to Mike. I didn't remember that. I misremembered. I thought at the time it was him just setting up debate for everybody on the panel. So the fact that Brendan decided to jump in was even funnier. And the fact that he decided to jump in and say, whatever he said, which is incredibly rude, and lacking intact, was even more hilarious. Let's go back one more. I just remembered just now. I was like, wow, he actually asked Mike Tyson, but then Brendan answered it for him and also insulted him.
Of being asked a question.
Tyson in his prime versus Fury in his prime. Who wins, Mike? That's the question.
Mike, before you answer, this is no disrespect to me.
He big, Mike.
Technically wise, Fury can go defense. His footwork, he's big. To me, as far as technique-wise, Fury's the best we've ever had.
Oh, wow.
What you think, Mike? Tyson hits the hardest we've ever had.
Mike,
he might try to lean on you. Mike try to grab you, lean on you.
I hope Mike don't learn to kick with that size 14, B-Marsh.
Well, y'all gotta stop doing that on this foot. I don't think you like that, man. I don't think
Mike
you like that,
Tyson.
man. You better chill, man. I don't think you like that, man.
DC was actually trying to be... DC was being funny, telling him to chill, but also being serious. Like, oh, look. Actually, whoa, look at this angle as I stopped it. Brendan actually looks like Big J here, isn't it? Axe J. Or am I mistaken? Brendan actually looks like Axe J right here. He looks like, what's it called? Shark Teeth Dolph Smile. Or was it Shark Eyes Dolph Smile? Whatever they call him. Like, he actually looks like Jay Schaub here. They actually look exactly the same. That kind of maniacal, like, ha. No, they kind of look really similar here. Very, very similar. Wow. They look like twins. Like there, they look like twins. Look at that. They look actually like twins right there. That's fucking crazy.
He coming back. Mike's coming back.
He'll get mad at you, bro. And then once he gets mad, it's over. Once he gets mad, it's over.
I got him now. He's slow. Bam.
You don't want those problems.
No, bro. You don't want those Mike Tyson problems.
An extra oldie but goodie, Schaub heavily called out Mike Tyson on his podcast and then walks back every single word upon interviewing him on Showtime's Food Truck Diaries.
First of all, I'm a Mike Tyson fan. I'm not a fanboy. I've never been a big Mike Tyson guy. I haven't. I think he's way overrated. He's the only man in the world that I would leave my...
So cocky, isn't it? He's so cocky. Because the first point is not bad. To say that you're not the biggest Mike Tyson fan isn't an insult, really. Especially if you're a fan of boxing. There's been that debate for a long time. If you actually look at Mike Tyson's record and blah, 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 blah. There's nothing wrong with saying what he said, but it came from such a malicious place in the first place. It sounded like hate. So that when he ended up switching it up and gargling on his knob when he came on Food Truck Diaries, it made it seem even more queasy. You know what I mean? Like, come on, have some shame. Let's go back one bit.
I think he's way overrated. He's the only man in the world that I would leave my studio to do a food truck with. He's the scariest man to ever enter the ring. It's Mike Tyson. I don't even have him in my top 5 all-time heavyweights. There, I said. You're cemented, man. Like, you're good. Like, every person on this planet thinks Mike Tyson's one of the baddest motherfuckers to ever do it. Name the best guy he's beat. Spinks? and go. There we go. And then when he fought really good guys, he lost. Anyway.
It's pimp shit, nigga. It's all pimp shit. Same thing.
It's weird they don't listen to you, though. I don't care what he says. Who gives a fuck what Mike Tyson says, to be honest? If Mike Tyson tells me something about boxing, I'm listening to Mike Tyson on boxing. I don't know why these young kids don't listen.
Considering Dana White's very public beef with Schaub, perhaps the UFC game devs decided to add in one of Schaub's most infamous defensive moves.
Oh no. You know what, right? Like, Brendan is lucky that he wasn't doing stand-up or whatever during this time, or the fame, because can you imagine how brutal it would have been nowadays if this happened now? Like within the last 4 years or something, or 2 years. Can you imagine how brutal it would have been for him on the internet? It's kind of lucky that this is like so far gone that people, it's kind of like a distant memory. It's kind of like another career, because people online anyway, especially UFC fans, they're kind of toxic anyway, right? Especially when fighters, they don't like lose. They're like be trolling them in the comments and stuff. It's really horrible. Like UFC and MMA fans are terrible. So imagine if the worlds collided, like all the podcast comedy fans and the UFC fans together at the same time hating on him online. It would have been so bad. Like he must be so happy that this was like a former life. It kind of happened so far gone. It's kind of, there's so much time in between that people probably don't even remember him fighting. That's how long ago it's happened, or how much stuff has happened since then.
Even Schaub's social media team copy-pasted Ari Shafir's social media script and forgot to replace
Look at this post. Join me, Ari Shafir, for my limited UK wide tour this April. If you have the night of hilarious, shocking comedy, then this is for you. Like, can you imagine how lazy you have to be? Because I've done social media managing before, right? I've done social media management. I've done social media, I've done community management, whatever, right? I've done marketing, which all encompasses that. So when you're writing copy, sometimes if you're writing a lot of copy, you can maybe use other bits of copy that you've seen online as a template. But usually if you're writing captions and shit, like literally a caption that's maybe, I don't know, less than 100 words, you don't need to copy anybody. Just make it up. You don't need to have like a template. You don't need to go to somewhere, think of, okay, who's a comedian that recently toured, and then take their flipping text and just change the words. You just need to just sit there and write it. So the fact that they couldn't come up with these 4 lines themselves is really concerning. And the fact that they didn't even double check it, like just to, because you have to go through quite a lot of steps to upload stuff onto internet, onto Instagram even. You have to go into your phone, you have to open the app, you have to go to a place to click where you kind of upload the piece of content, click it, trim it. Like there's loads of steps you have to go to do, and you're reading stuff at the same time. So to miss this is just like, it's inexcusable, really, to be honest.
Ari's name with Brendan's. UFC fighter Paul Craig also sent some shots at Schaub's anti-fan base PF Chang's.
My friend did tell me you're the CEO of PF Chang's. Holy
Oh
fucking
my God,
shit.
is this really happening right now?
What the fuck?
Wow.
So as well as being horny, you're the CEO of that?
That's what they tell me. Yeah, that's what they tell me. But just regular.
To be fair to... Okay.
I guess Ariel's the wartime one, but I don't even know what that means either.
To be fair to Brendan, his one reply back will probably be that it seems like for some reason all the UFC fighters that publicly don't like him aren't really good, with the exception of like, not good, but like they don't have the greatest records, with the exception of maybe Israel Adesanya. I get a feeling Israel's not the biggest fan of him, just kind of tolerates him. But I think everyone else doesn't really have the greatest record, right? You think of Chase Hooper, he recently won. Paul Craig lost a couple of times, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Darren Till's kind of retired. Paulo Costa, he's not really, where I think he won his last fight, didn't he? But a lot of the fighters that don't like Brendan publicly are also not the, maybe that's the only thing he'd say in terms of like running it back. I think so. Yo, big up JC.
We have to eventually just cut the chat. Is it just CTE, or is Brendan the most bitter Rogan Nepo narcissist? Like seriously, stop for a second and let's just address it.
Cut the chat. This is Brendan. The big up JC. Thanks for the £10 super chat. Is he the most bitter Rogan Nepo? I love that Rogan Nepo baby. That's a really good term. I love a Rogan Nepo baby term. Narcissist, like seriously, stop for a second. To be fair, I think by proxy, how do I say this clearly? I don't know. I get the feeling sometimes, because Rogan's such a big influence on all these guys, right? I get the feeling that maybe Rogan, he doesn't, because he'd have to hide it well, because he doesn't come across like a narcissist on his pod. He comes across a bit hard-headed sometimes, a bit stuck in his ways, a little bit, dogmatic, whatever, yeah? But I don't really get narcissists from Rogan. But also, these guys love to copy everything he does. So a part of me feels like, is he like that behind the scenes? Is Rogan basically more like Brendan away from the cameras? Because I can't understand, if I'm Brendan, why I would want to act the way that Brendan does if I'm friends with Rogan. Rogan's way more successful than you, way richer and stuff, but he seems to be nicer. So why can't you be more like him? But then I think to myself, maybe Rogan's actually like that he's actually more like Brendan in real life. I'm not too sure, because part of me doesn't believe that Brendan could be the way he is and just not get it. But I know that's true, but I know I'm wrong, because that's why narcissists exist, right? They just never get it. It's always someone else's problem. So I think you're right, JC. But big up, JC.
No, he's like,
take it away, BC. This is the house you've built
of the Morning Combat fan base who aggressively dislike our former colleague Brendan Schaub.
Yep, it's brilliant. Let's be honest, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, some of it is very creative.
So you do know who Brian is?
No, I've just met him.
Great guy, never met him.
Or randomly lying and saying you didn't see a film you've previously spoken about on your podcast.
Yeah, I took my family.
Okay, this one, I'm going to give him an excuse. I'm going to give him an excuse here. I don't think he remembered he saw it. I'm going to give him a little bit of grace. I think he's that redacted, he didn't remember that he saw it.
To SeaWorld, and I've never seen that Blackfish documentary, so I didn't, I was like, whatever. And there was one big killer whale. I haven't seen the dog before I went to SeaWorld, but the big one had his.
Okay, now I think he did. When he keeps mentioning it, right? He keeps mentioning it.
Fin like this.
That's not good. You remember Blackfish? Did you guys watch Blackfish on CNN?
Sure did. Ruined SeaWorld.
Yeah.
Yeah, that documentary that came out.
Man, that was
Blackfish?
Blackfish.
Oh, because I feel like it's animal cruelty. And everyone's more knowledgeable on how the animals feel.
Yeah.
Like, you watch Blackfish from the Depression, their fins are down. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
And I looked at my girl, I go, hold up. I've never seen this doc.
Yeah.
I'm ignorant to it.
Yeah.
But you've seen the dog and you still allow us to go to SeaWorld? Yeah, I go, that's fucked up.
And probably funniest of all is Schaub using his employees as 24/7 sleaze patrol.
When you get a free moment from your B-Day, check the baddies for DMs. No rush, B.
Eventually, Slim Schaub might take the Marshall Mathers approach and find ways to own the negative perceptions people have by making the joke first. The self-awareness and self-deprecating humor takes the power away from the hate and would certainly be a funnier approach. Until that day, we seemingly have an endless unintentional comedy genius, and thank you for watching.
You make fun of his height, because Tyson Fury is whatever, 6'8". Yeah, that's fine. Rogan's short as shit. That's fine. But making fun of his baldness, that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Oh, I fucking love it, man. I fucking love it. So big up Retroactive. Appreciate you. Decent little clip there, my friend. Thank you for sharing that one. Moving on quickly. Let's do this one. Let's do this actually. Let's do the thing. Where is it? Can I find it? Where are you? Not that, not this. There we go. This one. Where is it? Yeah, let's do this one. Let's go through the golden hour. So a golden hour clips from the recent episode. Let's check out a few of them. First one being where to send your kids to school. So someone calls into the show. I'm not too sure if I even believe they have these fans and stuff. I'm not too sure if they're just actors, who knows, but maybe they do have fans because they're getting views in their videos, so people do exist that watch the stuff that they do. But someone calls in and asks a question. Actually, before someone calls and asks a question, look at what Erik Griffin looks like without glasses. He looks like more like a white dude without his glasses, doesn't he? Or is that me? Does he look more white when he has no glasses on? He looks like a regular white dude. Like a Jewish man or something. No, don't you think so? Don't you look like a regular Jewish guy without glasses? He actually looks less black. It's like the Clark Kent effect. He takes off his glasses and he just like is another guy. No, look. Yeah, he looks Arab. Oh, mate, honestly. Anyway, let's go back to the clip. Where is it? I think it's like at 14. There we go. It's at 14. It's around here. It's around here at 14. Bear with me 1 second. Oh yeah, big up Good Robot. Appreciate you, brother.
Haven't been able to catch you live in a minute. Always a treat. Thanks for all the content, bro.
Big up. Thank you. No, thank you for tuning in, Good Robot. Thank you for the $20 super chat, my friend. I appreciate you a lot, man. Thank you for that. That really is amazing, brother. But thank you more so for tuning in, because who am I? I mean, I'm just here chatting shit into the wind. But the fact that people watch it is what makes it fun and entertaining. So thank you for tuning in, my friend. Big up Good Robot. Big up Good Robot. So let's check the clip out. This is them talking about whether you should send your kids to fucking private school or not. This zoom in as well is fucking wild, man. Like, yo, Chin has an interesting face, isn't it? I don't mean to be that guy, I know, but fucking hell, mate. Chin looks wild. Do you remember when Chin said he thinks people used to think he was white because he's from Austin? Like, Chin looks fucking wild. Yo, he looks insane. Can you imagine what he must look like when he comes or something? Can you imagine what his cum face must look like when he looks like this day to day? He's like happy orgasm ejaculation face. Can you imagine what that must look like on top of you? Like, fucking hell, Chin Suyi. Anyway, he's like the opposite of looks maxing. But let's just stop with that, because that's not fair. So anyway, let's go back to the clip of what they're talking about here about their kids and shit.
Anonymous, so she just sent in audio.
Oh.
Hey guys, I wanted to know your thoughts about where to send your kids to school. Would you do public school or would you do private school? Private school could be religious or academic or some other specialty, outdoor-based, things like that. And I know you guys are in LA, I'm up in the Bay Area. So maybe it's a different vibe depending on where you are. But I was just curious, like, do you have a philosophy about public versus private, or what you would want to do and why? Thanks.
There's a lot to it, because your kids aren't old enough for school yet, right? Tiger's in a private school. There's pros and cons.
Well,
cons are all the kids are assholes.
Well, I feel like you want to do public schools if they're good.
If it's a good district, yeah, you want public schools.
We get to be an involved parent. That's what that's about.
Well, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a friend of mine that works for LAUSD, and she works
God
in the special needs department, like and what she was saying to me is that you'd be surprised. There's so many resources that families could take advantage of, and they just don't.
They might not know about it though either.
But that's what I'm saying. Parents aren't involved. They're just like, you think, oh, I got to work, whatever. I send my kid to school and not worry about it.
Yeah.
You want to be an involved parent. You guys are involved parents.
Yeah. Sometimes I regret sending my kid private.
Really?
Like, some of the summer breaks coming up, and T's like, oh, my buddy's going to Fiji. What are we doing? I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh God, that's hilarious.
What do you mean? What are we doing? You're me in the backyard.
Yeah.
We're not doing anything.
Yeah.
We might drive to.
Hey, play with bubbles.
We might drive to Ojai.
Blow the bubbles.
Yeah. Or spring.
I'm getting the feeling. This is just me spitting shit out here from my ass. But I'm getting the feeling that fucking money isn't, running freely in the Schaub household. He's spending summer at home. He's getting annoyed that his private school educated kids are now coming back with delusions of grandeur about where they're going to go on holiday, because all their classmates are going on vacation for the summer to fucking Capri and shit, and they're just going to be in their garden somewhere in the Hollywood Hills and stuff, right? Like, I'm getting the feeling money's a bit tight over there in the flipping Schaub household. Maybe that kind of explains why the tour got kind of canned, because maybe he could have come to Europe to do the tour, but he would have maybe had to, spend out of pocket, because obviously he wasn't making enough money on the tickets. So maybe that's what's happening here, because this is a strange thing to complain about a little bit, isn't it? Because in my head, if you send your kid to private school, you're kind of signaling that you're one of those parents that takes your kids on summer breaks to like Europe or Far East Asia or like South American shit. Like, that's what people do that have private like go take tickets to private schools, especially if you live in LA. Like if their kid goes to one of the fucking obvious private schools that all the kids go to over there, no naming or doxing, most likely all their flipping classmates are like, you know, the kids of like big people in hedge funds and agents and like athletes and shit. Like it's no surprise that those kids are asking those questions because they go to those schools, no? Or am I bugging out? I don't think that's that crazy of a thing for the kid to ask, to be honest. You know what I mean, you go to a private school, it's kind of like you kind of did that to yourself. You know, he did it to himself by sending him there. And again, it's just an image thing. Like, why do Brendan's kids need to go to a private school? Like, really and truly, like, why do any stand-up comedian's kids need to go to a fucking private school? It's so odd. Like, personally, don't you think it's a bit bizarre? Like, unless you're like fucking Dave Chappelle's kids or like Kevin Hart's kids, like, what reason do these kind of comedians that do podcasts and stuff and whatever have to send their kids to a private school? I don't know. I don't know. It's strange. But for once, I'm actually going to defend Brendan Schaub's kids. I think Brendan's the one that's in the wrong. You don't send your kids to a private school and drop them off in Porsches and shit and pick them up in Ferraris and then get annoyed when they come back home and wonder why they're not going to Saint-Tropez. It's like, what's your fault, innit? You maybe take your kids to like a regular school or something. I don't know. Like, I just think it's a bit weird, personally, to complain about that sort of thing. But this may speak to the overall issues at hand with Brendan when it comes to the tour and stuff and just generally. Maybe he's finally starting to feel the pinch. Maybe the deals and the sponsorship money isn't what it once was. He's not getting booked as much as he once in the past. So now, you know, summers at home are summers at home, because they used to brag about going on fucking holiday to fucking Hawaii or the places they were going to as a family all the time. And now all of a sudden those trips aren't as plentiful as before. So again, when you chase an image, that's what happens, isn't it? You end up having to play catch up or having to kind of keep up appearances, and then when it finally comes back the other way, things kind of get a bit crazy. So it kind of is what it is, really, in that regard. I kind of got Brendan kids back on that one. I think that kid should be expecting trips abroad in the summer if it goes to LA private school, because for sure that LA private school is going to be full of other quote unquote rich kids. So if you take a kid to a rich kid, they're going to be asking rich kids shit. It just is what it is, isn't it? It kind of is what it is. Next, we got this clip here, which features a person calling in, giving Chris D'Elia some praise and fan love, and then Chris D'Elia attempting to kind of riff, and Brendan failing spectacularly to riff. And this kind of is, again, representative, I feel like, in general, of why these pods sometimes don't work with Brendan. I've always said I feel like this show could work if he maybe took a bit of a backseat and kind of acted as the sort of host, essentially doing the kind of job of what Chin and the other guy does with the papers, where he kind of asks the questions or sets up the topics as a host, and then has Erik, Griffin and Chris kind of riffing, and then he can kind of jump in here and there. But because he sits in the middle like the fucking king, and he's the one in charge, it kind of makes it seem like he's on level playing field with the other guys when he's not. He's not as funny as them, he's not as experienced as them, he doesn't riff as well, and it just kind of breaks up the flow because they look at him to kind of continue to riff because they're sitting in that kind of weird U-shape. So I think if Brendan actually sat where Erik was and Erik was sat where Brendan was, the show would actually flow better. I honestly think that. But hey, what do I know?
You know?
I sent in a video.
Okay, this is you?
What's up, guys? This is Jack. I have a Am I Wrong for That for you. I don't know if you guys have heard, but supposedly the government is in possession of some sort of intact UFO. Yeah. They're also in possession of my uncle, but that never made the news. Anyways, personally, I don't really care about the intact UFO. Am I wrong for that? And also, Chris, I just wanted to let you know that me and my girlfriend went to a show of yours in Seattle a couple months ago, and it was by far, hands down.
Hold on. What? People saying in the chat that Chin changed his name from Chin Su to Chin as in CHIN. Fuck off. That can't be true. That can't be true. Big up JC.
Calling him Chin is like if we started calling Son Heung-min Son because we have CTE. His name is Jinsu, but Brenda couldn't remember it.
Whoa, I didn't know that. Big up JC for the $5 super chat. That is an incredible bit of lore. I had no idea. I legitimately thought Chin's real name, I saw Chin's name was Chin. I didn't think it was Jinsu, sorry. That makes a lot more sense because chin is not. What's chin have to do with anything? Like chin is also sounds like it's short for like him trying to say chink or something, but he's not Chinese, and also that's a racial slur. No, like what? That's a good point. Why did he call him so he couldn't remember how to say jin, so he said chin. And sometimes have you seen the clip of him nearly saying the racial slur that I said, which I shouldn't have said? Have you seen that? Like Brendan nearly calls him that one time. Shit, he couldn't remember. So he got him to change his name. He then broke his neck and didn't pay for his health, you know, his health costs and whatever maybe. Left him kind of crooked. And then he's got him fucking uploading files when he's out camping and shit. He's out on a date. Oh my God, man, that's incredible. I didn't know that. Anyway, let's continue. I didn't know that.
One of the best shows I've ever been to, if not the best. So
wow.
Just want to thank you for a wonderful evening for my girlfriend
and
I.
Group?
Gang gang, buzz buzz, a woo woo.
Have you seen David Guetta? Have you seen Blue Man Group? What if he was like, yeah, it's hands down best show I've ever seen, except for once I saw Blue Man Group and the way they fucking fire marshmallows into their mouth was probably the best thing I've ever seen. I would be like, oh, his opinion doesn't matter. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm with this dude. Like, what am I going to do? You know?
If we find out that they have aliens?
But that's what I'm saying. What am I going to do? What can I do either way? Nothing, dude. What can you do?
Look at that way.
So it's like, I understand. Because here's the thing. I'm the kind of guy that, like, the government's like, some people are like, we need to know everything about what the government, they're hiding things. Hey, hide stuff from me. Yeah. Hide stuff from me.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh, you're a cuck. That's fine.
No, I'm not a cuck.
No, we need people like you.
No, I'm not a cuck.
Hey, put your mask on.
No, I don't.
No, put your mask on for you.
But the thing is,
put the mask on.
I don't need to know everything.
You don't put your mask on.
Okay, so all right, so Mr. Fucking I need to know everything. Say you know everything the government is hiding.
Which would be crazy.
Hey. Now what? What are you gonna do? Huh? What are you big stupid oaf, gonna do?
Why not wearing a mask and get vaccinated?
The lack of being able to riff is just atrocious, isn't it? Chris is trying his best to rescue this fucking dog shit awful topic, trying to make it somewhat funny, and then Brendan just sits there and tries to, like, I don't know, participate, throws him something, throws him a little bone with a big stupid oath comment, and come on, give me something. You don't get anything. You just get this look away trying to get someone's attention to save me. Like, come on, do something. Bat each other. Like, do something. Gather your resources. Let's go. Nothing happens. Just whatever's happening here. And I can't get past whoever mentioned it. Maybe it's Uche or somebody else about the fucking amount of fucking cups and bottles and shit on the table. Like, enough shit. Like, how much stuff do you need? Like, all the little buttons and stuff. It's just so distracting. Just have the table clear. Talk about what you want to talk about and then just get it over with. But the lack of riffing and whatnot is just really odd, personally. The lack of being able to kind of comedically just, like, you know, bust each other's balls and stuff. But like I said, I think a lot of it has to do with the seating arrangement. I think because Brendan sat here, it kind of feels like he's meant to be part of the kind of fun, right? But he's not. He's not that funny. So I think if Brendan sat over here and Eric sat here, they two could kind of bounce off each other more, and Brendan would be like more like the host, and it would probably flow better. I honestly believe that. Like, just changing the seating plan, and you know, Brendan's a bit redacted and can't read anyway, but just get him to kind of maybe lob up a couple of topics here and there. That would actually work as a flow of the show. I think now at the moment he's too integral to it to make it make sense. He's too clunky and just slow and doesn't get stuff, to be honest. So that's the only issue I think at play here, personally. But again, you know, I'm a redact myself, so what do I know and who should I be telling when it comes to this sort of stuff? This is the best one, personally, for me. This is maybe the best clip out of all, because this, I've said before, kind of reminds me a lot of my friends I used to grow up with in school who used to kind of lie about stupid things like having certain computer consoles. And the funny thing about those kind of lies, which I never really understood back then, the funny thing about those kind of lies back then actually was that there was a big culture of, like, going to each other's houses to kind of go and play, because back then we didn't really have computer consoles or video games that you could play online. I think the first one that came out might have been like a Dreamcast or something, but everything else you kind of had to like go to your friend's house to go and play. So you couldn't just lie and say that you had a Nintendo, a Sega, whatever, a PlayStation, because if someone came around your house, they would see. Or if you lied and had the games, you know what I mean? And some people did. And obviously they got caught out. So Brendan reminds me a lot of that kind of person. But that sort of lie when you've got computer games makes sense when you're like 5 to fucking 13 years old. You're awkward. You're in school. You got no friends. You want to just be cool. You want to feel like you belong. So you just start making up lies to make people be impressed with you and shit, right? So I kind of get it. But when you're like a 40-plus-year-old man with 2 kids, like, and a wife, surely you have to kind of chill out with the lying. And this is one example of it. This is like kind of elite Navy SEAL levels of lying to me. So let's play this clip. Brendan Shaw pretending or like lying about knowing the fucking Rock. Absolutely horrendous.
Fight, right? Let's keep it with that.
Yeah.
The whole, he's like 18-man tournament. Give me your top 18. Like, no. Just who would you fight?
The way you develop talent is...
We'll start a feeder program, right?
Yeah.
Females only, dude, because we got to give back to
Yeah.
them. I'd fight The Rock. Dude, numbies. I'd beat the shit out of The Rock.
You think so?
You would beat the shit out of The Rock.
Are you serious, Eric? Oh, you watched
this guy believes
Zorro or where the fuck he's in. You think you'd beat me up?
This guy believes wrestling.
First of all, do you think that The Rock was in Zorro?
I don't know. I don't
you
watch
guys
any
are
of his
both big
movies.
dummies right now.
You think he would be in Zorro?
He's more of a dummy, though, right?
I would love if he was in Zorro.
I don't-
Big
so
doofus in the fucking... Dude, you would
And
beat
like
the shit out of The Rock.
no one would know whoever his other character is.
Yeah, exactly.
That he's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Zorro.
Yeah.
He's walking around like Zorro is like with a bald head,
Yeah,
just fucking
Huge.
this, and he's like,
Who is
he's
this
like,
guy?
this is Zorro, and then he just comes later. You're like, wait, where's your Zorro shit?
Can you smell what Zorro's cooking? You're like, is this The Rock?
The point is you got to do numbies. Now do numbies.
I don't want to do numbies. I just want to fight who I want to fucking fight.
Who? I feel like you got a long list.
How
no?
tall is The Rock?
6'2".
Yeah,
I've been
no,
he's 6'2". I've been in an elevator with him.
Is he a big dude? Like
Which is
compared
only-
to you, how
only
big
you
is he?
two, though, right? You guys are like,
Now look his head working in overtime. He had to mention that The Rock's height, but also had to mention it with the backing of like, you know, insinuating that he's seen him. Then saying, you know, I've met him, we'll be able to live together. Then Erik says, how big was he, stature-wise? And then Crystalia kind of gives him a setup by saying, you guys will probably lift like this. So immediately he's like, okay, let's jump to the more egregious lie that will make me look cooler. I was going to live with him alone. Do you know what I mean? He's kind of processing where to lie. Where should I go? Should I talk about his overall body shape and size from afar? Or should I make it seem like we were closer next to each other in close proximity? He goes for, obviously, the latter.
It was just it was just two of us out of UFC.
did you say anything?
Just what's up?
Sup, The
Said
Rock?
He was a fan.
He said what?
Said he was a fan. I said I want to fucking fight you. He's
Okay,
not.
that's- all of that sounds made up.
Yeah, no.
What about John Cena?
I'm so glad Crystalia called him out. I'm so glad. We were in the lift together. He said he was a fan. In my opinion, I always think Brendan Schaub's lies, they've always got a thread of truth. So I do think at some UFC event or something to do with the UFC or something to do with Showtime, I'm sure Brendan must have crossed paths with or seen The Rock far away somewhere, like in his vicinity. I'm sure it happened. But if you would have seen him, he would have taken a picture of him, right? The guy's a fucking media whore anyway. He loves the clout and shit. He would have taken a picture. There would have been a picture of him and The Rock on social somewhere, you know, to prove that they were kind of in the same vicinity. But I don't think they spoke. I think he saw him and now he's trying to fill in the gaps of lies, personally. So I think that's the truth of it. He probably saw him from afar. Maybe there was a head nod exchange at best, but this whole like interaction of like he knows who I am and he's a fan. Like what? So he's a fan of TFATK. He's a fan of your appearances on the Joe Rogan Experience. He's a fan of your comedy. Like he's a fan of your fucking UFC breakdowns and shit on SCHAUB'S show or Below the Belt back then. Like come on, let's be real. But I'm glad that Crystalia called him out. I want to play that one more time because that Crystalia call out was good. You're trying to process it. I said what? Let's hear it one more time.
Like, compared to you, how big is he?
though, right? You guys were like,
It was just it was just two of us out of UFC.
did you say anything?
Just what's up?
Sup, The
Said
Rock.
He's a fan.
He said what?
Said he's a fan. I said I want to fucking fight you. He's
Okay,
not.
all of that sounds made up.
Yeah, no.
All of that sounds made up. I fucking love it. It's such an unnecessary lie, though. I don't understand why you'd lie about her. Like, again, it's just him positioning himself, wanting to be like super famous. Like, you're not that famous. No one believes you are that famous to have the attention of The Rock. And even if you did have the attention of The Rock, we just don't believe you. Like, it's just as simple as that, really. It's just impossible to believe. It's just one of those things. So you'd rather just not say it, you know? Just don't say it and just leave it as it is, personally. But hey, what do I fucking know? What do I fucking know? Next to play this clip, actually. This is an interesting one. This is courtesy of the Golden Hour again, last clip from the show, where they speak about movie stars. And I feel like Chris is projecting a lot. There's a lot of kind of hurt feelings on Chris's side because of how his career kind of like, you know, flattened out and stuff after the whole pedo allegations and the whole diddler shit and creepo stuff. So maybe stuff ain't going well for that guy. But yeah, he sounded very hurt in this regard. So let me just double check this. What people are saying in the chat. If you have one acting like Elon Musk funny episode, dude, you had a podcast with him for years. The Rock is Shaq to everyone until Shaq comes around. Is The Rock 6'5"? People are saying The Rock is 6'5". Okay, cool. You have no idea who he is. Exactly. The Rock is suspect or a suspect of him. What? Suspect. Okay, cool. Let's continue. So this is them talking about it. Movie stars and shit. I thought this was really interesting because, like I said, I feel like Chris had a lot of kind of like pent up aggression about his own failed career. Again, he only has himself to blame, you know. Maybe if you stopped, you know, diddling, you would have had a little career there yourself. But he has some interesting things to say about being a movie star and stuff and podcast success translating into movies. Obviously, this is to do with the Burt Kreischer's movie, The Machine, bombing in the box office. So they're kind of talking about that without talking about it. So it's going to be funny to hear what Burt says when he finds out these comics are saying what they're saying. Because I'm sure his position is like, none of you guys will die to be in my position. So he's probably going to be, you know, he'd probably be a bit aggrieved to say, like, you know, to hear guys like these guys who are clearly like bench players talking about what he's doing and how they would have done it and stuff. So let's play it anyway, regardless.
The movies have to change. It's not. I don't think that you can take somebody from a podcast and make them a movie star in their own movie. I think they need to. It's like, dude, you switching mediums is hard. Okay, remember when David Schwimmer tried to become a movie star? He just took leads in movies and then wasn't a movie star.
I have to kind of disagree with him that way, especially when it comes to Burton specifically. I don't think Burt could have done anything else but that movie. He's not going to be a movie star in any other way. Like, sorry, Burt can't play anybody else but Burt. So unless he kind of does, I don't know, what kind of character could he do? I don't get, like, I mean, like, I understand what Chris is saying. You have to kind of earn your stripes kind of thing and do like supporting roles. But I don't think Burt could have done anything else apart from The Machine or acted like himself in a movie. So there was no other option. It was kind of like he had to go for it, right? It was kind of like a sink or swim type of affair. And unfortunately with this one, he sunk. So that's the only issue at play. So I don't think it's to do with really translating. It's just to do with, you know, the movie wasn't good. He's not a good actor and it kind of just did what it did.
You need to, if you're switching mediums, meaning from TV to movies, back then, now it matters less, but now it's internet to movies. Dude, you're not going to get somebody who clicks on something like the laziest piece of shit that's like, oh, the new episode's out. That person's going to pay $25 to wait in line and go to a movie? They're not.
It doesn't work.
So I disagree with you.
Well, but I mean, case in point, every day.
I'm saying
beg to differ. You hear that? Beg to differ there. Let's go back there again. Let's hear that. Beg to differ.
Agree with you.
Well, but I mean, case in point, every day.
I'm beg to differ.
Why doesn't anyone correct him? Beg to differ.
I'm saying
one more time.
Well, but I mean, case in point, every day.
I'm beg to differ.
Beg to differ. I fucking love it. Beg to differ.
I'm saying I'm gonna make a different point.
Mm-hmm.
But to pile on his point, but it's like even Logan Paul has done movies. They've all.
I was in one of his movies. No, but that's not the. That's okay. Again, I think the point's a different point.
Mm-hmm.
The people that click what you're saying, they actually pay $25, $30, $40, $50 to go watch these people do stand-up. What I'm saying is this. They do pay that money. What I'm saying is this. It's not a lot of people. But in the podcast world, you don't need a lot of people to be a multi-millionaire and successful.
Right.
But in the movie business,
on that level,
you need a lot of people.
Okay, I disagree with this because I understand what they're trying to say. It basically costs too much to make movies nowadays. Like you can't really nowadays like you can't really like do like fun what you call it? Not self-absorbed. What's that word I'm trying to look for? You can't really do like fun projects just for the fuck of it. They kind of have to be like big projects that are kind of backed by people, and if they're backed, they're gonna want to have their say in it. They're gonna want to have notes. They're gonna put pressure on you, and it's gonna end up turning out to be something that you didn't intend it to be. Blah 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 blah. But I think fundamentally, the one thing that these guys are missing out on this conversation, there's not a conversation around like, is the movie good objectively? Is it written well? Is it produced well? Is it shot well? Are the people in the movie actually good actors? Are they actually funny? Is the script good? They're not really actually mentioning that. It's mostly a thing of like, oh, it's the numbers, 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 which probably says a lot about them as comedians and maybe where they are in LA and stuff and how they look and stuff. But I feel like movies, for as much stick as they get in nowadays, modern ones, that you have to kind of be, they have to be done for a particular political, social lens, fair enough. But I think at the heart of it, good movie is a good movie. A good movie is a good movie. And if the actors are good and it's got good writing and it's a funny movie, people will eventually flock to it and convince everybody else, hey, you should go watch this. The word will spread, like good movies do. Like I'm sure some of you guys are the same. You hear about good TV series from your friends or good movies from your friends or documentaries and shit that you should check out. And then you go and check them out. So I think these guys are missing out on that component. Like, I think they're just assuming because they're funny, that somehow that gives them a license to, I don't know, translate that into the movie role thing, which isn't really necessarily the case. And you have to kind of be good at what you do, innit? Like anything else you do in life, you kind of have to be good at it. I would imagine so. But hey, what can I say here?
You be a massive name.
What I'm saying
like
is
Bert's a massive name as far as comic podcasting. Bert's not massive like fucking Robert De Niro.
No, and even Robert De Niro that was in Sebastian
back in
movie.
the day. Well, not Robert De Niro now.
That movie,
it's a different medium though.
No,
he's not Chris Pratt.
No, I understand that. But in that medium, if you put out something that was like, and you spent, however much you spent to make it, and then you generated $5-6 million from it because that's your podcast audience. That's great.
Ballin'.
Of course.
Yeah, but if you had to spend,
Hollywood,
if you spent $35 million on a movie,
that's a good point.
And you only make that, it's to the movie business, they feel like that's a failure.
No, but it is a failure. That's the thing, though. It is a failure because you took the movie business's money to make your movie, so you have to kind of make back what they give you. It's just basic, basic maths, basic business. But again, I feel like there's a lack of understanding of good movies. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, these guys have bad movies, but they're still sensational actors, but they can sometimes star in terrible movies, or sometimes they can be good, they can be bad in good movies. It just is what it is. Like a good movie is a good movie, a bad movie is a bad movie, but ultimately the punters sort of decide on that factor. And if you don't get a second chance, it's usually because the movie is not good, not because of some crazy metrics thing, in my opinion.
I'm saying the podcast, anyway.
There's one guy in podcasting, to your point, there's one guy in podcasting who could actually, I think, jump over there and
Guess who he's going to say? Guess who he's going to say? Guess who he's going to say? Who do you think he's going to slob on? Who do you think he's going to suck off in this section here? This has absolutely nothing to do with the guy. They're having a pretty interesting debate. Loads of good points are being made, right, about the movie industry. It's actually a pretty decent conversation they're having here. Maybe some introspection about the scene. Maybe an appreciation of how hard it is to be a movie star. Blah blah blah. This is a good conversation. Who do you think he's going to fucking back out the fucking knee pads for? Who do you think he's going to get one of those things? You're in a car in a garage where they lie on that little skateboard thing so they can fix it. He probably gets on one of those to slide across and slob on a knob. Who do you think he's going to mention here? Who do you think? Hey, who do you think?
get that fan base and be Rogan.
No.
If Rogan was back.
Of course. Of fucking course it's Joe Rogan. Imagine seeing the non-success of The Machine, right? With Bert Kreischer in it. A movie about his life. a movie about a particular comedy bit that did millions, if not billions of views across all of the social media platforms. If I'm not mistaken, the law around the machine story is that it blew up on like Facebook first or something, right? But it's got millions of views in probably the hundreds of millions. It's not billions, but hundreds of millions of views. It's a really popular fucking bit. Bert's really popular too. Maybe one of the more popular, famous guys out of the JRE crew. He's instantly recognizable for people that are fans of the JRE. And his movie flopped. What makes them think? What makes Brendan think Joe's movie will be any better? Will do any better than Bert's? Considering how well known Bert is, considering how everybody loved that fucking machine story, Russian mafia story. Like, what makes them think that Joe would do any better in the movie? Somebody who's actively pushed away any kind of acting role, media role in the slightest, and just kind of got his own little niche, his own little corner of the world with his podcast. It's a very big corner, big engagement, big listenership. But if Bert couldn't do it, Rogan has no chance. Come on, let's be real.
Disagree too.
If Rogan was Batman,
if
that
anyone's
thing would
Batman,
sell. No, dude.
If anyone's Batman, it would sell. But my point,
if
disagree.
they know who it is.
Yeah.
I disagree. I agree with you,
I don't
Chris.
think so, bro.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Because let me tell you something.
Jesse L make me laugh. Rogan's gonna make a movie about the most difficult time of his life. Those 2 weeks he worked construction with his stepdad. Oh my god, bro, he won't shut up about those 2 weeks, innit? Those 2 weeks he had to work with the paws. And he was like, nah, I can't do this. This can't be my regular life. Like, fucking shut up about this shit, man. Or that one time he was doing security at that metal show. That's that story he talks about, isn't it, right? He used to be a bouncer at metal shows and stuff, and everyone started fighting, and he just like left midway through and said, I'm never coming back, sort of thing. He loves that story. Or he would do a movie about how hard it is to go into cold plunges and shit.
Because he's famous beyond podcasts.
Brendan.
Just still
There's
with this.
movie stars.
I'm Batman. Joe Rogan still with this. I'm Batman with the fucking microphone.
Yeah.
Still with a podcast mic.
It's on the back.
Yeah.
From his utility belt.
Jamie's his Robin.
Liberals, you know.
Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie's Robin.
He's sucking too.
Yeah.
No, but my point is this.
He's Batman.
There are movie stars that bomb in the box office.
But also for the same thing, dude, have you ever seen a movie star on a podcast? They don't get numbers.
Yeah.
No, come on, man. This is such a fucking horrible take. Podcasters don't get... So this is the thing, though. I just think these guys overestimated their value, overestimated how well received, how liked they are and stuff, and the level of fame. They just didn't get it. They just think because they're famous and they got lots of views on their views on YouTube and shit, that somehow translates into movies. It's insane, because the same would happen if they tried to do TV shows. The views would be equally as bad as the movies, because it doesn't translate to just like normal, regular civilians, as they like to kind of tell them. So I think, if anything, the whole Bert Kreischer movie bombing in the box office should be a humbling experience for loads of podcasters, especially the comedic ones overall, to kind of know, like, you know, it's not as easy as it looks, because they probably looked at it and thought, why don't these studios just make good movies? Okay, making a good movie isn't easy. There's loads of components that go into making a good movie. It's not just because of your genius idea that the movie's good. Loads of other factors have to kind of play, you know, a role to kind of make those movies work. And sometimes the talent at the center of it, like the podcasters, maybe aren't as good as they think they are. They think they're really funny. They think they're great actors, but they might not be. So maybe actually your talent should be maybe producing movies for other people to do, to kind of act and star in. But, you know, these guys love the attention. They love the stardom. They want to be famous in all walks of life. They're not just like content with having the ability to look after their family by just doing podcasts and shit. They want to be more famous than that. Okay, cool. That's how, this is the game, though. If you want to be more famous than being a podcaster, you have to play this, you know, this kind of mainstream kind of game, and the mainstream game is very difficult. That's why a lot of movie stars don't work out. That's why some people have flop and whatever it may be. So it really should be a learning experience for these guys, but it's not, because they legitimately think they're deserving or of that kind of level of success, or entitled to it because they get millions of views on their podcast, which is bizarre, because what does that have to do with anything, really and truly? But anyway, what do I know?
Different medium.
Yeah, you're right.
It doesn't fucking work.
Unless you're Jason Bateman.
Does he do podcasts?
Yeah, his numbers crash.
Oh, but that. Wait, here's the deal.
So is Dak
But here's the
Shepard.
deal. Let me say this. I keep forgetting because you guys motherfuckers cut me off, dude. The fucking. You have to start as not a movie star. Is my point. Right. Going back to David Schwimmer thing. If you are a popular podcast person, you need to start as in a supporting role in a movie.
I don't believe that. You have to be actually a good actor. That's the thing they're not saying. Why aren't they talking about actually being good at acting? Can we start there, please? You're just assuming because you're a good podcaster, you should be given roles and stuff. Like, why don't you audition? Why don't you go to acting school or something? Or brush up on your fucking public speaking? I don't know, whatever you need to do in terms of making you a better actor. Maybe go to a method acting class or something. But you have to actually be good at acting first before you actually, decide to get into the movies and stuff. Or better, or maybe if you get offered a role, maybe decide, hey, I'm not going to just take it straight away. Let me go into a little camp and do something to brush up on my skills before I take this role. You would think so, but hey, what do I know?
You can't just... Yes, like Tig Notaro. Wait. Yes, you need... But no, that is true, though. Like, that kind of a role.
I say that because you were on your way. Like, you were
yes, of course.
If that was Brendan, he would have got C-clamped. This guy is like skating on thin ice, mentioning Tig Notaro to Crystalia. If you would have said the same thing to Brendan, he would have got C-clamped. He would have got a double leg right there in the fucking podcast studio. He would have got a fucking what's that? He would have got Kimora'd right there in front of the fucking cameras. That was a fucking crazy bar, but he kind of gagged Chris there. Let's rewind it. He kind of gagged him a bit, to be fair.
Yes, a supporting role.
Look at Brendan's face. He kind of gagged him
in a movie.
You can't jump.
You can't just. Yes, like Tig Notaro. Wait. Yes, you need. But no, that is true though. Like that kind of a role.
I say that because you were on your way. Like you were
yes,
making
of course,
transition.
yes, right, exactly.
This guy looks like he has like beer cans underneath his bed, innit? I'm not gonna lie. He looks like he has pizza boxes underneath his bed. Actually, not beer cans, pizza boxes. He for sure looks like one of those type of dudes. Pizza boxes underneath his bed, sock cum rag things underneath his pillow and shit. Like he looks like that kind of guy. I don't know why, but he's giving I eat my Domino's in bed.
And I knew that, by the way. I know you can't just be a star in a movie. Not that I was getting those offers, but like you need to.
He got some big offers.
The tense. Look at Brendan trying to suck him off. This must be a tense realization of just where you are and how far away you are from everything. This is like bench players talking like starters.
So, but it was headed that way.
Yeah, but I wouldn't. You can't just all of a sudden be fucking John Wick.
You got to dip your toe in the pool.
Exactly.
Yes.
Even when it comes to movies.
Yeah, we get it, dude.
Chris is hurt. It's a tough, sensitive subject. Because the fact remains, if Chris never diddled, if Chris never dabbled in the pedo arts, he would not be on the golden hour. This pod wouldn't exist if Chris didn't dabble in the fucking pedo arts. I'm pretty sure.
I'm with you.
Okay.
If you say David Schwimmer one more time, I'm gonna freak the fuck out.
He wouldn't be Brendan's friend. Like, that's the face of somebody that shouldn't be there. But when you diddle and harass and abuse and run cults and shit, this is kind of your comeuppance, isn't it? A little bit. So it kind of is what it is, isn't it? But yeah, that is what happened. That's what he looked like. Oh shit. Anyway, moving on. Moving on. Let's go through to these clips. Actually, these are quite good. Let's mention a few of them. Have you guys seen this? Let's do the Curb Your fucking European tour. This looks fucking good. This taken from the Friday Night Kids subreddit, so big up those guys. This is fucking amazing. I love this. Curb Your European tour. Yes, please. I also love how you don't see this picture, but he kind of gave up with his shoe of the week or shoe of the month thing that was going on somewhere around here. There's no more shoe now. It's gone. There was a Yeezy here before, but that's kind of gone. But anyway, let's play this clip.
It's rare I cancel dates. I never do. Tickets for my Europe UK tour. Chin may or may not be there. We're trying to figure it out. But it starts in Belfast. Belfast, June 15th. Glasgow, June 17th. Manchester, June 18th. London, June 22nd. Cardiff, June 23rd. Then I end in my favorite place I've ever done stand-up, Dublin, Ireland, June 25th. One show in each freaking city. It's a theater tour, baby. Get your tickets right now. London's almost sold out, I think.
Imagine saying London's almost sold out.
Get tickets right now. Thinkboy.com.
Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. London is almost sold out. The difference between those shows that Brendan's doing and the stuff that's happening on the fucking Matt Rife shit is fucking out of this world, to be fair. Absolutely out of this world. Like, Matt Rife has like signs on his shows I've never fucking seen. And then when you go on fucking Brendan's tickets, let's see here, Brendan UK tour. Right, let's see what it says here. Look at the difference here between fucking Matt Rife and Brendan. Look at Brendan's shows. Look at that. Look what you see here. You see these 4 shows, which originally was meant to be 6. I just saw the flyer recently. It's meant to be actually 6 shows in the UK, but he actually scaled it back to 4 for his UK Euro tour. Look at those. Cancelled, 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 cancelled. You go on Matt Rife's. Look at Matt Rife's. I've never even seen this symbol. Look at Matt Rife's symbol. Low availability. That means there's not many tickets left. It's like a complete opposite. Look at all these dates. It just keeps going on and on and on and on and on and on. It's fucking wild. The opposite, like the one guy's career is like literally like, you know, ascending to crazy levels. The other one is just, again, but again, he only has himself to blame. Brendan had no business booking himself at these venues. These actual theaters, he had no business booking himself there. He can't sell 2,000 tickets in the US. I don't think he could even sell 2,000 tickets in Texas, his state that he says is his best market. I don't think he could do that personally. But hey, what do I know? You know what I mean? What do I fucking know? What do I fucking know? Moving on from that, let's talk about this a bit. Where is it? Let's move on to this one. Yeah, let's do this actually. This is gonna be a good one too. Let's do this one. Bear with me a second as I get this loaded. Oh yeah, true. That Matt Rife, yeah, exactly. True, that's a good point, isn't it, Marty Moose? Matt Rife, Matt Rife special nearly got my channel cancelled. I'm actually surprised that you can't just like live stream somebody's comedy special. Especially these comedians always say, I want to put my comedy special on YouTube, and they try and live stream it off of YouTube and they fucking hit you with mad fucking strikes, blocks and all type of shit. Like, it goes crazy. What's the deal, man? I thought you guys were like free speech advocates and shit. Like, come on, man. You can even take the AdSense. I don't give a fuck. Just let me fucking talk about it on the fucking stream. But nah, they don't want that. Anyway, this is a sick compilation. This is courtesy of the Fire and the Kid documentary. The Fire and the Kid subreddit. The title is How Did Europe Go? The compilation. Let's get this here on the big screen. This is absolutely hilarious, actually. Let's play this one. This is a good one as well. This European tour cancellation is just as good as the fucking Moon Tower fake fucking headline shit. That was a good time as well in Brendan Schaub history. I'm not going to lie. Let me get rid of the chat just temporarily so you can see this. Yeah.
Up tour, it's happening. Your boy's going to Europe. I'm headed to Europe. So Belfast? June 15th, Belfast.
Bro, have any of you heard anybody pronounce Europe like that? Yarap. It's almost like he's saying syrup. Ririp. Like what is that? Is that an accent? Is that a speech impediment? Is that just like a lack of water to the brain? Like, what's happening there? Yarap.
Or it's happening. Your boy's going to Europe. I'm headed to Europe. So
Yarap. You're Europe.
June 15th, Belfast.
Belfast, hold on. Belfast, Ireland?
Yeah. I'm over in Europe. Starting with Belfast, ending in Dublin. I'm jumping all over to the...
Now I'm kind of getting it, because I remember I said before in the stream, I didn't understand why these fucking comedians keep doing this whole like Rolodex kind of reading through of all their tour dates at the end of shows. Like, if I want to see you perform, I'm going to check your tickets anyway. Just say, hey, go to my website, wherever it is, and for tickets and dates where I'm performing in the city near you. And keep it moving. Why do you have to kind of list all your dates? But now I get it. It's kind of like a dick stroking thing. It's kind of like an ego thing, especially if another comedian is a guest on your show. It's kind of an opportunity to flex and say, look how many shows I'm playing. And because all comedians gossip and know each other's business, it's like, you know what those gigs are like. You know what I mean? Each date is this amount of money, so you know how much I'm making. It's just a little flex thing, because I don't think this does anything for the fans, personally. I know for me, if I'm listening to a comedy podcast, when they get to the end of listening to dates, I just turn it off anyway. It's kind of like when it gets on an advert, you just skip through it. So I'd rather just say, hey, go to my website, tickets available now. I'm in a city near you. But, you know, it is what it is.
The pond there, and then I jump over to the pond. Your boy's over across the pond. Then I'm headed on over the pond. Then your boy's jumping across the
his demeanor changes drastically, innit? From the Europe to pond. I guess this is when he was starting to realize and get fucking information back from his agent that the tour's not doing well, tickets aren't selling. Like, this is when he was probably getting that info back. I'm sure of it, because his whole demeanor changes, body language, everything.
Pond. I'm jumping on over the pond, and then I'm over.
Hey, be up, Austin Casey. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Sorry to go back one subject, but did Brendan book all those shows BC Matt Rife did? We all know Brenda copies everything.
Oh, I'm not too sure, you know. Big up Austin Casey. Appreciate the $10 of donation. I'm not too sure, brother. I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I don't think Matt Rife. Hold on, but that's so. I don't know. I don't think Matt Rife shows were selling at the time that Brendan announced his. I don't think they were. Maybe they were. But that would be incredibly redacted if he did try to compare it, because Matt Rife's fucking tour schedule is insane. Like, he's on a proper international tour. Like, he might become a millionaire off the back of this tour. You know what I mean? He's playing that many venues, or he already is. I'm not really too sure about the guy's money, but it wouldn't surprise me, to be fair. But big up Austin Casey. I appreciate you, brother.
Across the pond. Belfast, Glasgow, Manchester,
Glasgow.
London,
Glasgow. He's come back again. I just heard it.
Manchester. On over the pond, and then I'm over across the pond. Belfast, Glasgow,
Glasgow,
Manchester,
Glasgow,
London, Cardiff, Dublin. What
is all this?
My tour dates. Yeah, Belfast, Glasgow, Manchester, London, Cardiff, Dublin. That's June 15th through the 25th.
Are you gonna document this?
BigBoy.com. I don't know, man.
Bring a camera person. You'd be crazy not to.
Maybe.
Maybe. By now you can tell. Look at the demeanor change. By now you can tell already. Any man, and especially a grown man, any grown man wearing panda dunks already, you've already lost. But the fact that his demeanor changes so much, and he kind of, you know, gave him a dirty look after Brian suggested something quite cool. You should bring somebody to document the fucking trip. And he that's when I think he knew the tickets weren't selling by this point. He already knew, but he just had to kind of go through the motion still.
See how it goes. We'll see how it goes.
Cancelled. I'm about to mute that stuff. It's probably going to get me strike. I'm probably going to get a strike off the back of this, but hey, we just move in it. We keep it moving. Just reschedule.
Next I'll be doing sets around LA. We have a fight companion this Saturday, 7 p.m. live on Thick Boy YouTube for UFC 289. The Schmo, Callan, and
Taking a long break, bub.
Pauly Shore.
Taking a long break.
I love how he seems like he can't listen. He pretends to not hear Brian. You're taking a long break. Look, Brian's actually got a concerned Uncle Cuck vibe about him, right? Like Daddy Cuck. He's got like a concerned look about him. He's actually, hey, what's happening, man? You're taking a long break, bub. Like, what's happening, brother? Like, I know you have a car note to pay. You live in Calabasas and stuff. Like, this is not like, you know what I mean? What's happening, man? You got to keep it on it, innit? You got to keep the money coming in. And Brendan's just like,
yes, I'm chilling this summer with the kiddos.
You do YouTube? You know, you're doing great. Yeah.
His podcast is really successful.
Yeah, Greg's doing
Fitz
well.
Dog?
Yeah, Fitz Dog.
He's been doing it
You
for a
guys will
while.
get there.
Yeah.
oh, big up the guys over there at PF Chang's, man. Absolute fucking legends, man. Glass Cow is fucking amazing. I don't think you're ever going to hear anybody else pronounce Glasgow like that. Glass cows. I don't know. Maybe it's me, but if I'm gonna be performing in other markets that aren't my own, the least I'm gonna do is maybe do a bit of research about, you know, some local stuff I can check out. Maybe figure out how to pronounce the place I'm going to go, you know, and play at. so I'm not disrespecting the people that are there, and also maybe to sell it so I sound like I know what I'm talking about. You know, just whatever. That's what I would do. But this guy just like, he just goes, isn't it? He literally just goes. Glass cow. Oh, he's the best, mate. You gotta love a bit of glass cow. Where's all my glass cows at? Where's all my glass cows? Yeah, big up everybody in the chat. Yes, actually. Big up Jared Merrick. 193, is it? Fucking hell. Okay, cool. If there's 193 of you, I can't see them. If they are, please make sure you like in the stream for me. That's all I ask of you. Just make sure you're fucking pounding that fucking like button, just so people can know that I am here and I'm queer and I'm doing the things. You know what I mean? Help a nignog out, mate. Help a fucking nignog out. That'd be greatly appreciated. Oh shit. Let me move on. What else I wanted to talk about here before I move on? Bear with me. Oh, where is it? Was it that? Wasn't this? Was it? There's something else I wanted to check out. I wanted to show you guys. Bear with me a second as I just quickly check my tabs and shit. Is it here? No, it isn't. Is it there? No, it isn't. Oh, where is it? Did I lose it? Maybe I lost it. Just double check here. Bear with me a second as I get this stuff loaded up. Again, if you're watching this, make sure you're smashing the like. That'd be pretty appreciated for you. Let me see here. Where is it? I can't find it. Where's that fucking clip I wanted to play? Did I move it somewhere else? Maybe I did move it somewhere else. Oh, I'm a silly Billy, aren't I? I really am a fucking silly Billy. Okay, cool. Whatever. We have to move on, I guess. Well, guess we have to move on. Let me just see it one more second. Where are you? Come on. Appear. Yeah, there you go. I got it. I found it. I fucking found it. Okay, cool. So this is a really good one too. Yay, I found it. So it's a big up. Who uploaded this? This is from the Joe Rogan actually subreddit, I think. Talking about the 1,000 fucking stand-up comedians that exist out there. There's only 1,000 of them in the world, and they're all very high level. They're essentially like comedic Navy SEALs. They operate at the highest echelons of their fucking art, and no one else comes close. And us mere mortals, us regular civilians, we just could never understand it. We could never understand the depths that they have to go through, the talent that they have, in order, you know, and how they have to, what they have to struggle against to fucking express themselves. We would never understand it. So let's play this, because this is fucking impeccable.
Get on up. Get on up. No. And by the way, when you see someone moving around like that on stage, I will bet you every penny I have they're not funny.
Stuff her in the corner of the couch. Fuck.
Is that the equivalent of a guy stool fucker?
There's not a lot of women
Shaw
that
has
can
kind
do
of an
that,
elitist approach to comedy. It's quite interesting. He likes bars, he says. He likes jokes. He doesn't like stool fucking.
How does this work?
I'm going to be honest, right? I didn't know that was a thing. I really didn't know that was a thing people look down on. Like, it was like not something that people... Sorry. I didn't know it was something that other comedians didn't like, because I just assumed. I legitimately assumed it was just... how do I describe it? I assumed it was like an extension of like physical comedy. I didn't know that stool fucking wasn't bad. I just because if stool fucking's bad, then physical comedy is also hacky. But people do physical comedy all the time, like acting a certain way and shit. So I don't know. I didn't really see the kind of separation between the two. But hearing comedians speak about it, when they see somebody stool humping, they legitimately look down upon them like, you are not. You know, you're not one of us. You're not one of the guys.
Anytime I saw someone miming having sex, you know, pumping air, I would just go, not funny.
No.
It was just like, it was a sign of like...
But what if there's a bit where you have to mime pumping air? Stool fucking, if it's the right bit, can be funny.
Really?
But it has to be a real comic with a real reason to fuck that stool. There has to be something to it.
Why do you do that? It looks...
No way did Rogan say that with a straight face. You have to be a real reason to... Look how short his legs are. Yo, I love look how he's tight, flat, white bum. Like there's no cheeks there whatsoever, isn't it? Rogan is fucking cheekless, isn't it? Is that what happens when you take HRT or TRT or whatever? You get no cheeks. You get crazy massive muscles, big hands and shit, wide shoulders, but you're not cheeked up in the slightest, isn't it? Like that's a flat ass, bro. But look how small he is. Like he bends over and he's at the same height as a stool. Can you imagine how small fucking Rogan must be in real life? Like in person. He must be the kind of tiny where I bet you, right? How many times you think somebody said, like just without even realizing, oh shit, like, sorry to be rude, but you're way smaller than I thought you were. I bet it's happened to Rogan so many times. Like someone saying to me in real life, oh wow, you're a lot smaller than I thought you was. Can you imagine how hurtful that must be? Like people coming up to him all the time saying, you're way shorter than I thought you were. That must hurt so much, man. I'd be so pissed off. I swear to God I would be. Like, God almighty, he's just literally like a tiny, tiny, tiny man. And I think in this clip, he's actually wearing like shoes that look like they got a bit of soul here. Exactly, yeah. Josie's saying, yeah, he has to be like 5'4". That's the thing I say. I think God kind of like, saved us. Because if Rogan was 6'3" with like hair as long that went down to his fucking ankles, he'd be fucking unbearable. He's already unbearable now in some cases, being the way he is. But imagine if he was 6'3", if he was built like a fucking linebacker or some shit, what he'd be like. Oof.
Dumb, all right? This is just being gay. That's all. Ass in the air. That's it.
There's got to be a bit.
Pumping air?
Yeah, but
you mean like
there's got to be
screwing pumping?
Some bits.
What? But who doesn't know what that looks like? Why do you need to pump?
Maybe there's a reason. There's got to be something.
Unless like you're imitating someone having a heart attack pumping.
I'm not that retarded. It looks fucking stupid.
And most of the move around people are pushing it, just oversell shit by physicalizing.
Am I the only person, again, this is a really hot take, am I the only person that thinks this type of physical comedy that Joe does, where you're pumping the stool and funking it and shit, isn't this like similar like what Chris D'Elia was doing before he was like, got caught being a pedo? Where like he would be posting pictures of himself on Instagram, dancing topless and trying to be funny, but it was like a coded thing to like get the attention of like young girls. So if a young girl liked it, he'd obviously do his normal thing and go through the likes and then DM them. It was kind of like a weird coded sort of like thing to kind of, get the attention of people that you wanted to fuck, basically. I wonder if Rogan's the same sort of thing. Or maybe it's just him trying to show off how athletic he is. Because I don't think it's part of the joke. I think it's legitimately like him trying to show off how flexible he is. Because you speak about that a lot, doesn't he? Because even in this clip, look at this clip. He's got tight jeans on, and he's basically squatting down with a stool with his heels on the floor. He's pretty flexible. Clearly, he's got a good range of motion. So I think this might just be more of him trying to show off his fucking, the results of his yoga practice and stuff. Or maybe him, trying to get the attention of some young ladies out there, or maybe some young boys. Who knows? But I don't know. I don't even think it's part to do with funniness. I think it's just him just trying to show off how athletic. I don't know.
What should be just funny the way you say it.
I'm gonna get a fucking pencil and write that shit down. Bitch!
I'm trying to think if Eddie fucked a stool. I imagine
remember
he might
Eddie
have been
fucking no stool, bro. See, I like Eddie, I like Richard, I like Chris Rock, bless you. I like Chappelle, you know what I'm saying? Like I like people that have something to say. All that stool fucking is like, I would never disrespect the craft like that.
Well, you wouldn't have to disrespect it. You would just have to want to do it and then try it.
If the content is about your physicality, that's not dancing.
Right.
Dancing's when you put like English, like when you're doing this to accentuate what you're saying. It's like, screw that. We don't need that.
One more cocktail. I'm not that funny, man.
So essentially what they're saying is that Rogan's a hack in his own way. That's funny, isn't it? I wouldn't have thought about it that way. Essentially, that's what they're saying. They're saying Rogan's a hack in his own way. I don't think that's fair because I don't think because these clips are obviously a little bit misleading. Not all of Rogan's stand-up is like this. He's not always just humping the stool and doing physical shit. He's mostly like telling jokes and doing his story thing and repeating stats and facts and stuff and shouting at you about weed, like, you know what I mean? But he's not always humping a stool. But basically what they're saying is that if you rely on your physicality and humping a stool and making weird faces, you're essentially a hack. Like, they don't respect it because you're not using your words, which is the harder thing to do. The harder thing to do is to, you know, say a funny joke with words without moving and make people laugh, then getting on stage and fucking a stool and making silly faces because you're going to get some laughs out of that because it's just funny, isn't it? See someone making the stuff. So I get what he's saying, but it's kind of wild that they're basically calling him a hack without calling him a hack. Oh, I fucking love it, mate. Rogan fucking stool humping is absolutely incredible. People saying here, he's a horrible stand-up, Pavilion End. People hate Rogan stand-up, man. I'm probably the only ones that doesn't actually mind it. I've seen a couple of clips here and there, and it's been all right for me, but it's not really, you know, it's not my jam, but I don't mind it, you know what I mean? Let's play this clip as well. Another one here. We've got another compilation here, courtesy of the... What's this called? This is the Fire and the Kid one. It's called the Big Bang CT edition. This will probably end up getting me a strike as well, but fuck it. Why not, man? Let's just watch it anyway. It's probably got some Big Bang Theory content or material kind of, you know, laced in there if it's saying the Big Bang. I'm assuming. Let's see. But I think, you know what? We're going to ride it anyway because guess what? It's fun that way, isn't it? Let's ride it. So let's play this anyway. Courtesy of the Fire and the Kid subreddit. So big up them. Go check it out on there if you want to watch it by yourself. It's called the Big Bang CT edition. It should be pinned on the subreddit now. So check it out if you haven't already. Let's go.
Was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait.
What's the saying here? Martin Moose, what are you saying? Brendan Cooney needs a new partner for the 10 minutes of show. You'd be a perfect for that podcast. Yeah. Nah, I'm good, man. I heard some of you guys said one of the guys left, innit? But yeah, I'm good, man. Plus the time schedule thing is weird because I'm in the UK, so we'd have to do it weird times and I work and stuff, so that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I'm good on that one. Have you guys missed a show, by the way? Do you guys watch it? What's it called? 10 minutes of show. Are you guys upset that it's over? Is it gonna come back? I don't know. Who are they looking at for a new co-host? Or is it just gonna leave it as is? I'm really not too sure. Let's continue.
Brennan's definitely for traffic. Golden out here. Travis Brown finishes Brendan.
I think you'd be surprised.
Haven't fought in 10 years, yet I still have this fucking deformity because I want everyone to know that I'm a fighter.
Well, I can't
I don't want to get the ear fixed because I want people to still think I'm tough. I'm not tough.
What can I do?
But what he's
doing
is
do?
Train that fucking thing. Hey, he's sensitive about it. We're in Hollywood. If you spend as much time as you did on that ear as you did on these goofy fucking outfits, you'd be better off. Fix your fucking ear. Hey, man.
So follow me up, cause this shit about to go.
I'm still gonna have my hot take. I don't give a fuck. You'd be surprised is better than Gringo Pappy. My hot take. You'd be surprised is better than Gringo Pappy.
I'm doing 500, I'm out of control, but there's nowhere to go, and there's no way to slow. If I knew what I knew in the past, I would have been like that on your ass.
What are your credentials?
What we can do is tell the truth.
I can't talk.
It's just... What's important is that we haven't spoken to Chris.
No.
You cock.
Oh mate, honestly, that was one of the best. That was one of the best arcs of the story ever. The fucking deterioration of like Chris D'Elia and Brian Callen's friendship and comedic partnership. Clearly, I think Brian's been on his pod once time before that Dateline thing, but they're clearly not as close as they once were. But the way they both threw they've both or not both actually. The way Brian threw Chris under the bus was fucking obscene to see in real time. Like, it actually made him look worse, even though what Chris did was deplorable, and every normal person with sense would probably distance themselves from him publicly, of course. But it's just the way that Brian did it was just so deplorable, like so lacking in fucking backbone and courage and loyalty. It's just like yuck. And then for the following, and then that's like that, that karmic retribution is cold. He threw Chris D'Elia under the bus. I barely know him. We don't hang out. We're not friends. We've never been on tour together. We've never had dinner. I don't really know him like that. I just know him as a colleague. And then the very next week, he gets fucking exposed and cancelled for fucking raping somebody, allegedly. Like, can you imagine the karmic retribution on that? You throw your friend under the bus for having a fucking penchant for the young ladies, which you probably knew about, right? It's impossible that him and Whitney and all those guys didn't know that, Chris liked fucking really young girls to the point where there were maybe, it got to a bit, it became a legal issue. And then suddenly he gets caught in, with his hand in the fucking cookie jar, no pun intended. And then suddenly they all fucking have a moral compass. They have principles. Whitney Cummings is putting out tweets thinking she's a fucking hero. Brian Callen's deleting pictures of him and Chris from his Instagram account and then lying and saying he didn't and then saying he did and then saying it's because of his daughter or some shit, which just had nothing to do with what. Like, just a whole nonsense. Like, this was one of the eras and one of the arcs that I think really ruined the reputation, because people just looked at Brian and Chris and just thought, you guys are fake, innit? You guys have, there's nothing there holding you guys together apart from just podcast numbers and nonsense. Like, just nothing there whatsoever. Heinous.
And
Kiss. Get up, man. Kiss.
we've never been on the road with him. I've never been on the road with him, so I don't know. I don't know what to think, and I don't know.
All right, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
No, get back here.
I've never been on the road with him. They recorded a 10-minute podcast for years. One of the better podcasts to come out from that LA era, man. It's like, oh, fucking hilarious.
But my thing with that guy, do you think that's nice?
Oh, no. But I didn't.
And then I got some sad news. I'm going to be taking a step back from being on King and the Sting.
A step back, and he never stepped back forward, mate. Thea fucking ran away. Literally ran away.
Grateful to you, Brendan Man. Appreciate it.
We've been doing what, 4 years?
I don't know. Has it been that long?
He went to cry. He saw the money. He saw the money walking out the door, like, or maybe he knew also this was a sign. Because my new theory is this: I got a feeling watching these clips back again after so much time has passed that Thea Vaughn told Brendan that he had to leave for the betterment of his career. Like, his agent got in touch and told him, hey, you have to step away from Brendan and Chris and all those guys because you need to take your career to the next level. If you want to take it to the next level, you can't be associated with Chris D'Elia and Brendan Schaub. I think that's what happened. And this is why he was so caught up about it and stuff. It kind of gave him that sort of feeling. But yeah. He looked like he went to cry.
Man.
Yeah.
For old times, I should have done this in the middle of the show, but for old...
Chin's face. Chin does look like one of those dogs. Like, Chin doesn't have the eyes of it, but he's got the face of those dogs that people like. Are they pugs? The one with the really big bobbly eyes. Those ugly dogs that can't breathe properly. That they breathe like that. Are they called pugs? What are those dogs called? The people love those dogs. They're really small. They can't breathe properly, and people fucking love them. Chin looks like a pug, but he doesn't have pug eyes. You know, he's got the face of a pug, but not. You know. Jinsu, not Chin.
Times do we maybe want to eat a hot chip?
I don't want that.
I'm just sad.
Yeah.
Sad. I don't.
So anyway.
No,
Human shit on your fingers impossible.
But here's the thing. I'm 40 minutes in. I can't turn around and go home. So I went inside to the bathroom. You know what I mean? I took off my...
I bet you probably think ladies have...
Ladies. Say, I don't know what to say.
Go ahead.
You look like a geek. I'm not that on board with that.
Yeah.
These niggas ain't ready for action. Ready for action. In the morning, and I'm zoning. I think I'm.
Can you imagine? Honestly, that image, that is better than any shot you'll see from a Scorsese movie. I swear on my life, that shot is better than any shot you'll see from any Scorsese movie. He's in the back window trying to lift. Like he's in the Flintstones or something. Like, what the fuck is this? I swear to God. Honestly, oh my eyes. I'm sorry. Oh my eyes, I'm sorry. Oh. I can't get over that image. It's just so good. The framing, everything of it is like perfect. The framing is like, like honestly, you couldn't get any better than that. Fuck, man. Fuck.
These niggas ain't ready for action.
Big up, JC. Appreciate you.
Explain nonce for our American friends Plaza.
Oh, nonce is basically the UK slang word for fucking pedophiles, basically. That's what nonce means. A nonce is an adult who likes children and not in like a playful way. An adult that likes children to sit on their lap, you know, that kind of type. That's the kind of type that it is. Big up, JC, I appreciate it.
In the morning, and I'm zoning. I think I'm possessed. It's an omen. I keep it 300 like the Romans. 300 bitches.
What's up, brother? Decided to send you a voice note. Decided not to text you.
Where the Trojans, baby, we living in the moment. I've been a minute.
I'm really upset, obviously.
But the longest, but I ain't finished. I'm devoted, and you know it, and you know it.
I'm hurt, man. If you wanted to hurt me, you got me, brother.
So follow me, you couldn't ship out.
It's weird. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. You know, I'm not even mad. I'm not. I don't know why. It's weird. I'm not mad.
To go.
Did this?
It is what it is.
I'm doing 500. I'm out of control. But there's nowhere to go.
It's a fucked
and there's no way to slow. If I knew what I knew in the past.
I'm hurt. I'm mad. I'm fucking mad, man.
Even more disturbing.
Okay.
Gringo Poppy. You and I.
You want some clips,
You
boy.
and I.
No, he's a nice guy. I actually feel bad for him. Going through hell.
He'd be like, hey, like, what about the puss? You know what I mean? Wait, look at my ear, bro. Check out my ear, dude.
It's the first thing that comes to mind.
Ryan Callen.
Rough year.
Gringo Poppy.
Kind of brilliant. kind of brilliantly funny in a way that no comedy special has ever been. It's mysterious in a way. Like, there's a lot of choices made, and you don't know why those choices were made.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Michael Shea is getting sued. I guess.
You boys gotta come to my horse farm. There's me his car. Can't film, sir. Can't.
He was filming him. He was filming him in the comedy show. What's wrong with you guys? What a fucking crazy guy. He was filming him like this, so obvious. Just holding up the phone to you. What psycho was filming him like this? Honestly, Brandon Schuster for homeless cats are the fucking best. You just bought a ticket and just sit there. You can't film this. Man looks like Caesar. Holy shit. He looks like Caesar. Oh, I swear to God. You see how pissed off he looks? Oh, my eyes. You see how pissed off he looks? Oh. I can't do this. I can't do this. I swear to God, I can't do this. He looked up. He looked up at the guy just like this. Oh my God, have we got Bogey coming out here? I swear to God. Oh. Oh, fucking hell. Honestly, I'm honestly leaking all over the place here. Let me mute this mic, honestly, from every orifice. Okay. You can't film this. Let's go back a little bit. I need to see this again. You can't film.
All right, moving on. Michael Shea is getting sued. I guess.
Boys gotta come my horse farm. There's me his car. Can't film, sir. Can't film, I'll say. I can't talk.
To the break of dawn, baby.
Yeah. Command.
Dudes!
Oh, hey, what's up, man?
I got the PF Chang's.
Oh, yeah! Thanks. Oh, you're the best.
Thanks,
yeah.
Oh, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Big up the PF Changs for putting that together. Absolutely fucking 10 out of 10. It got me laughing. Honestly, I'm still crying now thinking about him with his hand out there. He was so fucking angry. He was ready to jump in that fucking crowd, fucking Khabib style after fucking beat him Conor and just fucking go crazy on that guy. It was going to be a fucking murder scene. Oh, that was fucking brilliant, man. He was so fucking furious. Fucking love it. Okay. Oh, my face is fucking hurting, I swear to God. Oh, okay, cool. I think I've done most of a minute. Oh yeah, okay. This is this one. This one's oh fucking hell, mate. Honestly, I swear to God. Okay, last clip then, or last little bit because oh shit, it's fucking light outside. So let's talk about this one. So most of us have been debating what was the reason why Brendan had decided to flipping cancel the UK tour, and I think we've got the reason now, or the reason he's going to use as an excuse. We know the real reason. Obviously, he didn't sell enough tickets because he, for some reason, overestimated his pull and reach over here in the UK. For somebody who can't sell out Comedy Store La Jolla, which is like what's the capacity of that place? Let me actually check this. Comedy Store La Jolla capacity. I'm assuming it's something like 500 capacity. But if you can't sell that out on a weekend, 450. He can't sell out the Comedy Store La Jolla. But for some reason, he was coming to the UK and trying to do theatres here. It made no real sense to me, in my opinion. So clearly he overestimated his fucking reach and his pull. So that's why he's cancelled these fucking shows. But he would let you believe that he cancelled them because, you know, he was wanting to spend time with the family, allegedly. But we know the real reason. And now we've got an actual real reason why. Now we've got the reason he's going to use as an excuse. And I think it's to do with this news, courtesy of his wife's account on Instagram. And she recently posted, not the fucking other pitch post there, but this post here, that is announcing that Brendan is going to have another kid. He's got another kid in the way. He's going to have a daughter, it looks like, by the looks of it. So apart from that face, get that off there because it's got his kids on there. But this is what she posted on her Instagram account. A little baby, I guess a pink Birkin, a purple Balenciaga bag, a pink Chanel bag, a Fendi jumper for a little girl, and then the ultrasound look in there. So the caption, let's read the caption. For sure, this is going to be the reason why he's going to use for why he cancelled the show. So, this is from Brendan Schaub's wife. It says, to say this journey has been easy is not the case. The healing that had to happen from the miscarriage I had in 2021 was the hardest part, but here we are. This is actually the time. Remember that said there was that funny meme that went around where I think this miscarriage happened, and I think for some reason Brendan was on tour, but he didn't go back home to go and like comfort her and stuff. So she was just posting stuff on her own, going to the clinic. I don't know what you do when you get a miscarriage if you go to a clinic or hospital, but she was just doing it on her own. And then on the opposite, you know, on the flip side, Brendan was out with the boys on a comedy tour. And then he was, I think, in some Airbnb and in some jacuzzi with like Chin and like Chappelle and his brother and shit. It was like the fucking optics of it were terrible. But anyway, let's continue. It says here, my baby girl is finally coming. These boys are not ready. I can't wait to see how finally there will be one more girl in our household. Words cannot describe how happy I am to finally say I will have a daughter soon. Now, baby girl, if you could please ease up on me and stop making me throw up every day. Mommy will really appreciate it. Baby Schaub number 3 coming December 2023. She's announcing it like it's a new pair of Jordans or something. Dropping December 2023. Anyway, this is definitely the reason why he's not doing the UK tour. He's going to use this as an excuse. It's obviously not the reason because he didn't sell enough tickets, but for sure he's going to use it as another excuse, and he's going to hide behind the kid coming as a human flipping meat shield, which is, you know, diabolical in itself, but it kind of is what it is. The interesting thing for me is this. I wonder what kind of, because my brain doesn't work that way. Like, I think if I'm like going through tough times, I'm just kind of like trying to pare back my expenses. I'm trying to focus on what I need to do to kind of get over the line. I'm figuring out other kind of avenues to make some money, some extra kind of revenue streams. The last thing I'm thinking about is like more expenditure. But for some reason, it doesn't work this way in these guys' heads. Like, I think of it from the Showtime thing. Brendan got fired from Showtime, allegedly, right? Let's see if I can actually get it up on here. Brendan Schaub Ferrari, right? So he gets fired from fucking Showtime, and then the first thing he goes and does is buy a Ferrari. Like, it's something I don't understand either. But I think some people have that kind of thing in their head where you want to like prove that you're okay, so you do stuff like this. So after the whole Showtime thing happens, and because, you know, let's not you know, beat around the bush. Like, the Showtime not renewing his deal was a big deal. I think so, because I'd imagine that Showtime check was paying for a lot of stuff in those, you know, thick boy headquarters or whatever it may be. It went a long way. So then that goes away, and then to kind of show that you're okay and that you bounce back from it, the first thing you do is you buy a Ferrari and you do this whole thing. You make a vlog about it. You're posting pictures. It just seems like an odd thing to do when you're trying to kind of like get back on the up and up. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Even though he had a red one here before, that might have been leased before, but it seems like a strange thing to do, right? To kind of go and get a Ferrari after you've just got, you know, maybe let go from a really good job that was allowing you the possibility to kind of do extra new things or whatnot you need to do. And the same thing goes for this baby coming up. You'd imagine, like, his career isn't where it probably needs to be, or probably where it was before, and it's definitely on a downward trajectory. There's a lot of things that need to be done to kind of make that go back to where it needs to be, and then the first thing that's coming out here is a kid. It's like, it's weird. But it also maybe explains why you know, this relationship is the way it is. And I think I've said it before to you guys, I think in the stream, that I don't really like all the kind of ops that people do in terms of like sending this wife like, you know, messages and clips of what Brendan said and trying to prove that he cheats and stuff. I don't think that matters, because I personally have always said, I think my hypothesis from looking from afar is that they have a somewhat not so silent agreement that he can kind of do what he wants, Brendan, on the road. Just don't bring that shit back home and embarrass me. And she can kind of do what she wants. Or if he does embarrass her, then that's when the all expense paid trips happen and all the other stuff happen in terms of going to Las Vegas and getting gifts and shit. But in general, I think this is the relationship that they always have. So if that's the case, this also proves that during the whole time that whole people were like, you know, trying to, you know, break them up, they were trying for a baby in some way, shape or form. That whole entire time that that shit was happening, they were clearly having this stuff in the works. So there was never any chance that she was going to go away anywhere soon. And also on the back of that, just look at the stuff on here, like clearly this lady's got very expensive taste and she doesn't work, right? From what we know, she doesn't really have a job. She kind of seems like a stay-at-home mum. If that's the case, then she's got no onus to leave really, because, you know, Brendan's basically paying her way, looking after the family, doing what he does, look, you know, being the provider and shit, in her position with 2 kids and stuff, living in LA. Why would you leave the guy? Even if you get half, like, half's not going to last you long. You don't really have any career to speak of because you've been out of work for so long, I'd imagine. It'd be hard to kind of get on that wagon unless you decide to do, like, I don't know, something like OnlyFans, which I'm sure she probably wouldn't do. But I don't know. I never thought there was any possibility they'll break up in any way, shape or form, because I think they are quite well suited to each other. And based on the picture here and based on this picture here also, they clearly are suited to each other. And that's why and another thing we're to make, actually, last point on this, is that that's why this sort of stuff becomes a bit hard not to speak about, because as much as I don't like showing this sort of stuff on here, because I feel like Brendan gives us enough material to kind of rib on and to kind of tease and stuff. You don't need to kind of look into his family and whatnot. But, you know, they kind of act like they're, you know, that they're a fucking celebrity couple or some shit. So if that's the case and you want to be a public figure and, you know, you're verified and all this malarkey, then maybe it's, you know, it's within reason that people can talk about you online and shit. It's something that I wouldn't want personally. If I had a partner, I'd kind of want them, unless they want to be involved, I'd want to be pushing them as far away as possible from it personally. But I wouldn't be putting them out there like this on Front Street, especially from Brendan. The amount of stick that Brendan gets is probably quite irresponsible in some shape. In some forms, you could say it's irresponsible to kind of have your kids front and center like this, parading around and stuff. It's just a bit odd for me personally. Not the biggest fan of it. But one thing's for sure, this kid's definitely going to be called some location. Maybe Paris. I can't think of, I don't know, Cancun, like some sort of location. This kid's not going to have like a regular name. I don't think so. The other 2 kids already have like destination kind of like funky names. I'm sure this kid's going to have, I don't know what it's going to be called, like I don't know, mushroom. I don't know. I just got a feeling this kid's going to be called something. Like something for real. Something for real, like Guadalajara, I don't know, Guadi or something, like, for sure. See, people are saying another thing, Guadalajara, Lahara or something, you know what I mean? Lahara, Yahira. Actually, Yahira's that girl from No Jumper, innit? I think so, yeah. I can imagine that's going to be probably the name, but what a way to announce your pregnancy, innit, right? No pictures of the mum's belly or anything, nothing of that sort, just pictures of like designer handbags and a little designer jumper for the baby that they're going to grow out of in fucking 2 days. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, Marty Moose, Calabasas, yeah, exactly. I can imagine, yeah. Hidden Heels or so, I don't know, or HH or HE or something, I don't know. I could definitely see that happening sometime soon, but I personally think if I was Brendan, I would have kept this kind of stuff to myself, but I guess, you know, it is what it is. You kind of have to do what your wife told you to do. But I also think if you're looking for a reason why Brendan is probably going to cancel, why Brendan's going to say he cancelled the fucking, you know, the UK tour, this is it. This is what he's going to use as a reason. He's going to say he cancelled the UK tour because he's having a kid. Even though he would have not cancelled it if he would have sold tickets, clearly. But, you know, this is the lie that he's going to tell everybody. I'm sure he's going to use his kid as a fucking shield. I'm pretty sure of it. But congratulations to them anyway. Happy, I think, birth. What do you call it? Do you call it something like a birth? Hopefully it goes all well and stuff and swimmingly and whatnot. I'm not too sure if that's like, aren't you meant to like announce it like later? Isn't it like bad luck to announce it so soon? I don't know if that's, am I bugging out? I'm not really too sure, but there is some sort of like thing where you're not meant to announce it like super soon. You're meant to kind of keep it to yourself for a while. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a random dude. I don't have any kids like that, so I wouldn't have the Scoobies of how to fucking announce it and say stuff. But you know, I guess they are kind of making it the way they're gonna make it. So I guess for them, if it works, it works. What can we do? What can we say, innit? What can we do? What can we say? Before I leave you, I want to play a couple of clips here. What do I want to play here? I want to play a couple of clips, kind of doing back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Let's play this properly. This is what I want to play first of all, right? So this is a clip taken from Reddit. It says here it features the moment, was it? The moment 200 plus South African firefighters landed in Canada to assist with the fight against the raging wildfires, right? So a pretty cool little video, right? Let me play this clip here for you so you can see. Anyway, you get the gist, right? Am I the only one that thinks like this is kind of like, you know, like if you ask somebody for money, if you ask your friend to borrow some money, and then they make you, I don't know, they make you like, oh, imagine you go to your friend's house, ask them to borrow you some money because you're like, you know, in dire straits, and then they make you sit down and like watch a movie with them, or like, I don't know, they talk your ear off for like 10 hours before they give you the money. You're like, dude, I kind of just need the money and to go back home and just do my own thing. I kind of don't want to just hang out. It's kind of feels the same thing. Like, Canada needed some assistance with these wildfires. Some extra firefighters come from South Africa. And instead of going to assist them straight away from the plane, they're in the airport fucking doing these fucking dances and songs and shit. It's like, bruh, our houses are burning, our cattle's on fire, our fields and our, you know, crops are completely destroyed. We need you in the field ASAP. We don't need these fucking, you know, at the fucking baggage, you know, recovery place fucking songs. Can you please come and help us? You know what I mean? And this is South African as well. It's like they don't even understand what they're saying. I don't know. I saw that and it made me laugh, but I hope that the fires get put out. They are South African firefighters, everyone in the chat, whoever's asking, I think Marty, they are South African firefighters. And then this is a pretty good one also. A really, really hot young lady letting us know what she likes. And I like that she likes this kind of stuff. She looks really, really cute. I'm not too sure if you guys are a fan, but she looks cute to me. I like her eyes. She's got really, 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 really nice eyes.
Meat lover. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I love a bit of that. Anyone want to see that again? I love a bit of that. I love a bit of that, mate. I love a bit of that. Meat lover. Give her a bit of my meat. She loves that, mate. Fucking hell, mate. That was nice, isn't it? Ooh, what a hot young lady. Yeah. Big up JC. Appreciate you, brother.
His mum's English. He wore a 3 Lions top on JRE. BTW, he guy next to the pillar was the greeter at the Palabora Gate in 2005, Kruger NP.
Big up JC. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, but big up JC. I don't know what this is in relation to. I don't know what I said before. If you can remind me in the chat, that'd be greatly appreciated. But I don't know what this is in relation to, my friend. But thank you anyway for the $5 super chat. I do appreciate you, brother. I do appreciate you, brother. And then moving on to this one, let's talk about this one. This is a really good clip, actually. Let's talk about this. Oh, Brendan's English descent. Okay, cool. Allegedly, he's got English descent, but you know, this guy's full of shit. Who knows, man? Allegedly. That's what he says anyway. But I thought this clip was fucking hilarious. Let's play this. Let's get this on the screen. This guy is definitely based, right? I think this guy is based as fuck.
Hello.
I can't, I mean, no one can help but notice all the attention being paid to the QWERTY crowd. I noticed we had a special.
Let's go to that again. The way he clears his phone is so fucking rude. Let's do it again.
Hello.
Hello.
I can't, I mean, no one can help but notice all the attention being paid to the QWERTY crowd.
Let's do it one more time.
Hello.
Hello.
I can't, I mean, no one can help but notice all the attention being paid to the QWERTY crowd. I noticed we had a special day.
What were we saying here? Honky Tonk Tennessee says, please put on a hat, Bazinga. Jesus, bud. Yeah, my hair's a bit unruly, I know. Please allow me. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, my friend.
Day last month, and then we got the whole month this month, and then another day in October, and they have flags and parades and an army, and I just want
an army. Is there like a LGBTQ queer gay division of the Navy SEALs and shit? I didn't know that.
To be a part of that, and so after much reflection and self-examination, I've decided that it's finally time for me to come out of the closet as a man that hopes to pork his wife in the butt. So my
what? One more time?
It's finally time for me to come out of the closet as a man that hopes to pork his wife in the butt.
This is someone's dad, you know. Oh, I fucking love Americans.
So my pronouns will be butt/porker.
That's inappropriate, Mr. Parr.
Is it? Really? My slogan will be, it snaps right back. And I even have my own flag.
What's the flag look like? What's the flag look like? Honestly, if the flag is a fucking what's it called? Thick boy bussy donut, I'll be laughing. Please let it be a bussy donut. Where is it? Show us it. We can't see it. Oh man, I wish we could see the flag. Did they cut his mic? They cut his mic. They cut his mic. You can't hear shit.
If I can get my own day, my own proclamation, maybe she'll let me give it a shot. So I just, I mean, it took a lot of bravery for me to come out and announce this in public.
Oh, look, see, it is. It's kind of like Brendan Shaw's bussy thing. Look, it kind of looks like it. See, it's like a tie-dye circle with a hole in the middle. It kind of looks like the thick boy bussy donut a little bit.
Announce this in public. So I understand what everybody else has gone through, because it was really tough for me to do this. So at any rate, yes. So from now on, I hope to be addressed only by my proper pronouns, and I hope to get the accolades and the benefits of being part of it.
They keep cutting his mic. What a fucking legend, man. I think that's a good way to end the show. It snaps right back is fucking crazy, bro. Absolutely crazy. Oh, that's a grown-ass man, you know. That's a grown-ass fucking man. Anyway, what can you do? Let's move on from that one. But yeah, we're done now. That has been Random Show episode number, what was it? 118. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute fucking ride. I've been crying my face off, which has been good. Needed a good laugh. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. If you're watching, make sure you smash that like button for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you've enjoyed the show, please smash the like button for me. That'd be greatly appreciated. Links to the Discord, to the podcast on audio format is available in the description if you want to listen to it that way. If you want to join the Discord, you can do that also. And yeah, man, that's it, brother. I appreciate everybody in the chat. Big up everybody hanging in there. Thank you to Good Robot, Crash 1948. Big up Jared Mellerick. Big up JC. Big up Andrew W. Marty Moose in the house. Johnny Nobody. Snapback Extravaganza, Charles Lucas, Trug Walking with Annie. Big up Vagabond 162. Yeah, too many names here to mention. Mad Solar, mad people in the chat here. Daniel Clements. Too many names to mention here. Big up every single one of you tuning in. I appreciate you all dearly. And yeah, man, thank you so much for tuning. Honestly. Honestly. I appreciate you all. And yeah, man, see you all guys very, very soon. See you all guys again very, very soon. Take care. Be safe, my friends. Peace.